Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order. It is April 6, 2017. It's the Halifax Finance Committee. On the agenda tonight is mail, reserve fund transfers, meeting minutes, approval of budgets, approval, discussion of articles, public participation, and adjournment. So we have the wage article. We have, what do we have for mail? Beacon. Okay.
That's it.
We'll pass that around. Do we have any reserve fund transfers?
Yes. Bill?
Hey, Bill. How you doing? Very good.
Okay,
If you
so,
want to sit back here, you want to do, or if you're more comfortable there, that's fine.
Are you as far?
so we have a reserve fund transfer to the LAR account. The amount requested is $1,591.36. There's zero in the appropriation. The purpose is pay law books for April 2017 and a legal bill for March 2017. The town has been involved in more legal cases than previous years, and the number of issues in which the town council is prudent has increased. So we approved one already last month.
We sat through one Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
This is a third. Yes. Okay. I'm just trying to,
Bills keep coming in, and I need to pay them.
yeah.
So how much was Monday nights?
$728.13.
And what's the total in the reserve now?
Before the 700, it was $45,602.38.
And what do we have on notice?
$3,250 for the LED lighting at the fire department.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the request? A second, we talk about it?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion?
Does this bring the account current to date, Charlie?
I'm sorry,
Does this bring this account current to date?
yes, every bill I've got, you've got.
Do you think we'll have another transfer at the special?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
there's an article on the special for this.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? Okay, passes. 4, 6, 2017.
I had the same cough this week, don't worry about it, really. I had to get up and leave the meeting, so, yeah, you know, I felt like I was in grade school.
Thursday back.
I feel better. All right, now, do you want water? I think it's for this,
No.
but it's for cheese, just.
Yeah.
I lose my breath.
Is that what we're
Yeah,
gonna do
I
tonight?
like
So,
that.
make sure you-
I might have some mints that are behind here. Okay.
Are you guys gonna stay for the whole meeting, or is there a specific topic you wanna talk about? Because we can move public participation in earlier if you'd like.
No, I was here to hear about what's gonna be discussed.
Cool.
Happy
Okay,
meeting.
just wanted to ask. If there was something you wanted to talk about and leave, then we can skip to that. Okay, meeting minutes.
Some of them we still may not have quorum for, but
Okay.
they're all there.
Okay, so we have, no, that one we cannot do. January 9th, we can't do. We can do this one. Monday, February 13th, 2017. Myself, Mel, Stu, and Diane were present. Does everyone have a chance to review?
I have.
Yes. Yeah,
Is there a motion to approve?
Thank you, Stu.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Oh, when does the
Linda's not
clerk?
here.
I'll sign.
Okay. Okay, this one is myself, Mel, Linda, Stu, and Melinda, so no. 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 This one we can do. March 13th, myself, Mel, Linda was present, Stu, Diane, Melinda. No, we were all here. March 13th, we met with the fire chief, met with Barbara Gaynor. And that was what we covered that night.
I've reviewed them.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
And this one is executive session meeting minutes, so they'll have to be moved and then held.
Yep.
Until the, contracts, we talked about contracts that night.
Right.
So, again, everyone was present, so is there a motion to approve? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Passes. Okay, so we have,
When Melinda gets here, I might be able to do a couple
Yep.
more of those.
so we have 4 that we can't do right now.
All right.
I'll
Thank
put like 2 that Melinda,
Okay, so,
if Melinda comes in later, we might be able to
get her done.
these 2 at the top. Melinda comes in.
Great, thanks.
Okay, so we need to do wage before we do the spreadsheet, or does the spreadsheet not have the adjusted wages in it?
It has, if you're reading off of 4.3 at 5:49,
Yep,
that has the 2% in it.
it has the 2% in it. Okay,
But she had requested if we could have that other conversation.
which, the wage and personnel conversation first?
No, the council on aging first,
This,
if possible.
this note up in the corner.
Okay. I didn't get a chance to review the presentation, so I'm not
Okay.
prepared to vote on it tonight. And it can go into the town warrant as finance recommendation at town meeting. Charlie?
So when would the committee make a decision about how to recommend it? What other information does the committee need?
I don't know. I mean, we didn't even have it on the agenda that I was aware of until that night. So, I guess I'll have to watch the meeting this week and
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch them.
So-
I didn't see anything.
next week we can put it on the agenda to talk about.
Okay, on Monday?
Does that give everyone enough time to?
That's our next meeting,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I can get to it this week.
All right,
So,
Charlie, are they gonna make available a fact sheet, number of square feet, duration, cost?
I've specifically asked the building committee to give me everything they've got at this point so I can post it up on the website.
Okay.
As soon as I've got it, it goes up. And, we'll do a one sheet or something comparable to what we did for the school repair project. But since I don't have the information, I haven't been able to do that yet.
Stu, what was discussed Monday, was there any specifics as far as estimated cost in
Yes.
relation to what was originally budgeted?
Yes.
It's all in the meeting.
But, here's gonna be sort of my spin on what I heard.
Yeah.
And so Charlie should step in and correct. The number put out for the building was 1.8. Hey, Bill, did you get a note on how many square feet? I didn't get that number.
No. I'm sure I took
And I don't have the number, and I'm not even gonna guess.
The original proposal a year ago was the total was 5,500.
Since I don't have it, I'm not gonna
Oh,
guess.
okay.
So-
So it's fair enough. So,
will you have that info for Monday?
I don't know. like I said, I specifically asked the building committee to give me everything they've got. I haven't gotten anything yet. Once I do, I'll get it posted as soon as I can. I'll send it to the finance committee too.
Okay, so if we have that stuff for the agenda on Monday night, I think we should probably take a vote. If we don't have that
Yep.
data, then it seems like we should push it off for at least a week. If there's,
Until we have the data.
until we have the data.
And there were some issues there that, you know, were sort of, in my mind, kind of squishy as to whether or not it was in the number. So for instance, it's pushing out the back of the building. There's a septic tank that's got to get moved. There's got to be a lot of site work done. And, you know,
It's not
it wasn't readily apparent that that was in the 1.8.
Welcome to spring.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
we actually went through, I thought, a pretty good amount. You know, Bill, I don't know what your impression was, you know, but I think a lot of good questions were asked.
Yeah, it was a comprehensive meeting, a lot of questions were asked. I didn't keep track of time, but it was at least 45 minutes, possibly even longer.
It was an hour, I think an hour.
So there's a lot of dialogue. They did make a point to point out that the estimate provided was as concrete as they could get without having that 60,000 or whatever study completed. So there may be some variance to the 1.8 million, but we couldn't say whether it be up or down. So there was some unknowns, like Sue mentioned, but they didn't have specifics on what those might be. But they did overall feel comfortable with 1.8.
Right, but keep in mind that is not a costed number. That is an architect's estimate. Okay, so that's a very key piece of information.
So kind of like putting the cart before the horse, right? You spend the 65,000 to get the estimate, and then it gets declined, or do we not spend the 65,000? Because if it doesn't get approved, I think we can use the 65 or whatever that number is for something else.
And Charlie had some thoughts as to how that ought to go to the warrant.
Well, it's going on the warrant, the selectmen voted 2 articles, one for the 1.8, and then the second, if the 1.8 fails, to move the money from the architectural budget to a repair budget, basically some minor repairs for the Council on Aging Bill and Pope's Tavern. We'll do whatever we can, but obviously it doesn't, by any stretch, do everything. Forgetting about the expansion, it doesn't do everything that needs to be corrected there, but it would do some of the things. And if the town, in essence, is saying we're not willing to go for the 1.8, the town's gonna have to make a decision about what it wants to do. But in the meantime, we've got Pope's Tavern, we own it, we need to keep it in good repair.
Was this going to be a debt exclusion?
No,
So it's going to be within the levy?
yes.
So if we have the data that was requested for Monday night, we'll talk about it Monday night. If not, we'll push it to the following meeting.
Okay. So is that all the data that we're looking for Monday night?
Charlie said that
What
he's,
was the date?
What do you look, sorry, I
We
left.
basically want everything on the Council on Aging proposal.
Yeah, I think, did we, I think that John Campbell was gonna email the actual estimates from the architect. So this is not just like he wasn't,
No, they understand that the data exists, but nobody has it here in this room. right
okay,
now.
so John, I thought he would have sent it to you. He said he was gonna send it.
And I've already contacted them, Kim.
Okay.
So,
All right,
and I'm going to contact them again tomorrow.
okay, all
So
right.
we're stuck right now.
Sure, no worries. I thought they were gonna have it. Sorry.
I'm sorry too.
okay. So, wage and personnel then. So we received a packet with, so this is from April 4th, and here are the recommendations from the wage and personnel to the finance committee for recommendations for FY18. Does everyone have a copy?
Got it Monday?
I'm sorry?
Monday?
Was that Monday?
Yep.
If not, see.
Well, gotta go back to the other convention. Okay, got it. Okay.
Bill, do you have
Yeah,
Okay, so below the recommendations voted on by the Wage and Personnel Board concerning requests received at our public hearing. Number 1, recommend a 2% across the board wage increase for all wage and personnel employees. Number 2, recommend the establishment of a human resource manager at grade 10 for 28 hours. Number 3, recommend the removal of the merit award portion of the bylaw. Any employee who receives merit compensation will be grandfathered in. Number 4, increase the longevity award in the bylaw. See attached. Number 5, recommend revising the bylaw fire department modified appendix A group extra C extra details to read extra details to outside contractors, not town-related details, are to be paid 2-hour minimum at an hourly rate of $50 an hour. Details for the town of Halifax shall be paid based on the employee's regular rate. Number 6, a memo from the Board of Water Commissioners dated December 22nd, 2016, requesting the establishment of an on-call system for outside water department employees. This has not been voted on yet. Number 7, recommend revising the bylaw, section 35-12, membership. C, notwithstanding the provisions of subsection A, in the event there are only 2 appointed members of the Wage and Personnel Bylaw, a member of the Board of Selectmen or a member of the Finance Committee shall serve as the members of the Wage and Personnel Board. Such member is to be designated by the respective board. So the only question on that would be, how would you choose between the 2 boards?
I imagine it would be volunteer.
So, well,
mean-
we can go.
I would say that because we serve at the behest of the selectmen, it would be their choice.
Okay. Normally how we vote on filling a spot though, when it's between the 2 boards, is a vote of all the board. So maybe a modification to this,
We'll look it over again.
just to be a 2-board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 8, recommend revising the bylaws, section 3517, increases so that employee evaluations coincide with the ratings based on a new evaluation form. Above average, consistently fulfills job requirements and extends contributions beyond them. Regularly meets and sometimes exceeds goals. Satisfactory, consistently meets minimum job requirements but makes limited effort beyond them. Adequate achievement of goals. Okay. A written recommendation must be made to the department head, to the Board of Selectmen, and to the Wage and Personnel Board, giving a detailed description of the course. Did I miss
Oh,
something?
no, that's just showing the longevity. That's the end of it.
Okay,
8, yeah.
so longevity, the existing,
The 3521 is the existing longevity right now.
what's the the recommendation, the next
Recommendation is,
page?
Yep.
Okay, so the chart is 10 through 14 years is 150,
Mhm.
part-time is 75, recommended to go to 520
Mhm.
for 10 to 14, 15 to 19 is currently 250 for full-time,
Mhm.
125 for part-time. It's recommended to go to $750. 20 through 24 is $500 currently, $250 for part-time. It's recommended to go to 1,000. 25 to 29 is currently $750. Part-time is $375, recommended to go to 1,250. And 30 years and after is currently 1,000. And part-time is 500, recommended to go to 1,500.
All right, we based this on, we went over all the benchmark towns, and this is comparable to that. And this has not been increased, was it 1994, Sandy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
is
we
part-time,
felt like this was fair, part-time would be prorated.
so is,
Yeah.
Yes, would be half.
okay, so,
And this is based on keeping the steps 1 through 6 in all the grades. So the way we looked at it is an employee being here 6 years, that's the end of it, except for increases every year. So when they come to their 10 years, this is something to keep a good employee. And it's based on, like I said, the 10 benchmark towns.
okay.
It's comparable, which we do have all the backup, I don't have it with me right now. And the way we laid it out, it was 10 to 14 years, actually $10 per week extra. And 15 through 19, for an employee, it's less than $15 a week.
Okay.
In 20 through 24, less than $20 per week. 25 to 30, less than $25 per week.
And then
And compared to what it's been since 1994, compared to all the other towns, we're in the very low as far as longevity goes.
And then Sandy had numbers.
Oh, Sandy has the figures, correct.
So if this is passed
Yep,
for FY18, it would cost the town an additional $9,340.
We had 2 other proposals, but we were going with the higher one because it was more comparable to the other towns.
Sandy, is that in your spreadsheet?
I
That
do
you
not have that
given
on the
out?
spreadsheet at this time.
It's
I
not?
did, no, I have it ready to go in if you approve it,
Okay,
if you recommend it, I should say.
okay.
Sandy, can you speak to what the 2% increase and the longevity increase brings us, how close to the levy that brings us?
I can. Actually. Because we've lost an entire department through the dispatch, the town is in very good shape. So if you were going to the full levy with all the expenditures that we have now on the current sheet, we have our $672,772 below the levy. So the 2% increase for wage and personnel employees only would be $47,126. That's the additional it would cost. And the longevity is $9,340. So
Do you have what the contracts would be if that was a 2% as well?
if they go up 2%, that would be another $45,745. So we're talking just over 100,000.
Still loses.
So we're still over 500,000 below the levy limit.
And also, we're taking the merit out of the bylaw. So we figured changing the longevity and taking the merit award out of the bylaw.
Okay.
Because the employees would still be eligible for the merit award portion. So if we
The
remove
ones that are
that,
receiving.
well, that's gonna be grandfathered in, but if we left the merit increase in there, employees still were able to apply for it. Their supervisors could recommend them. So we were gonna take that out of the bylaw, and we wanted to change the longevity, make it higher.
Okay.
And then there was one more piece, the HR manager.
The HR manager will cost an extra $10,970 in all. So that brings it $113,181 additional to what we already have on the spreadsheet.
Sandy, did they change the expense on the treasurer's department? Adding? Okay.
With adding the HR
Yes,
and the
okay.
treasurer's
That went
clerical
down.
line would come down.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
through. Are there any other general questions? Comments?
General
Yes.
question. In regards to the benchmark communities, how many
Yeah.
of them have an HR position?
I don't think any of them do. I think 2 had HR clerk.
Within the treasurer's
Yes,
office?
correct.
So my question is, what makes Halifax what so unique that we need to create an HR position? It would make us so far out of the mean of our benchmark communities.
We based it on the needs of the town.
Right now, all of the duties of that job are covered by the assistant treasurer, and
No, not necessarily. Sandy, you can speak to that.
some by the town administrator as well, too, I think, Charlie, yes? Are you also
Right,
liaison to?
Some of the duties are covered through, some duties end up sometimes even with wage and personnel, sometimes through the department heads, sometimes through, as you mentioned, the assistant treasurer, sometimes it's myself, sometimes it's town council. And having someone who can consolidate a lot of those functions is going to make us work better. As an example, the library trustees have had personnel decisions to make that we've had to use town council to review, where an HR person at a much lower cost would in fact be more effective in terms of the spending of dollars.
You don't think an HR person would have also reached out to town council with
Yes,
specific
but
questions? Of course.
I'm sure, but on the other hand, the amount of time council would have spent on those decisions would have been far less.
I disagree.
Well, it's fine. I mean, that's what.
It's going to be based on 28 hours, and right now, most of her job right now is HR. We're an HR hat. So the 4 hours she works a week as the assistant treasurer will be going downstairs.
A specific person you're talking about, or this new
No,
job
the
you're
new job.
creating?
The new job will be that.
And so you'd
So
also...
the job right now is both hats.
Well, I mean, but in a lot of towns, especially in the benchmark
Mhm.
communities, that is the role of the treasurer's office, is to
Correct.
handle
Mhm.
retirement and health insurance and all those issues. So it's not like it's an unusual case. I think that they
No,
handle
it's not an
that.
unusual case.
So say you pull that out and you create this new HR grade 10 position, which
Mhm.
opens us up to possibly there needing an assistant in years future.
No, it's based on 28 hours.
What does that mean?
The job description will be based on 28 hours a week.
And but it's still a grade 10, it's a
Yes,
director's
it's still grade
position.
10, but it'll be prorated. So if you look at the salary for grade 10,
Yeah,
you're gonna base it on 28 hours.
okay, yeah.
Charlie's going to say something.
Yeah, I guess I have a problem with the idea that, okay, now we're going to add a grade 7 position to this.
No, I'm just asking.
Well, except that this has been brought up already earlier today,
Okay,
that there's a possibility we would add a grade 7 position.
is
I
there?
think it's a fallish argument to make about this.
Okay,
Because town meeting will in the end make a decision about appropriations for all departments and how many hours are needed to provide a certain
Right.
level of service.
right,
So, for instance, I could make the argument that in 20 years from now, we're going to need 5 full-time people in that department. Someone would tell me, of course, that that's ridiculous. We wouldn't make a decision about today based on possibly needing a certain number of people 20 years from now. Nor
Right.
would we make a decision today about whether we're going to, at some point, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, that we might possibly need to hire a grade 7 person in addition to the grade 10. Same is true for the library. The trustees and the director, during the time I have been here, have come to the finance committee, have come to town meeting, and advocated for additional appropriations for additional staff hours for the library. Because the number of staff hours at the library is greater than it was 20 years ago. They've made those arguments, they've gone to town meeting, and the townspeople have made that decision. But they don't make the decision based on, okay, 20 years later, we might need additional staff hours.
Charlie, I'm not here speaking for the library or acting as agent for the library. I'm pointing out that you're creating a new department, and I'm saying if you're going to create a new department, it's not unreasonable to think that now you've got a new department, that's the top of the hierarchy, And perhaps maybe in a year or two, you might need an assistant.
I would
don't
doubt
think
very
I'm
much you're going to.
Rhetorical.
Well, it's not rhetorical, because you're making the argument that in fact we shouldn't have the department because we might add a grade 7 sometime in the future, without defining, for instance, how many hours the grade 7 person would have, what those duties would be. Would the grade 10 person by that point also be working more hours than the 28? You're in essence creating a straw man and saying, let's demolish this argument about having an HR department based on something that no one here has in fact brought to the table.
Well, that is really at my character, Charlie, so it's not a straw man. I'm asking if you, just so that we acknowledge that we're establishing a department that at some point may need an assistant or an administrative assistant. That is quite all. If you want other reasons why I think we don't need the positions, I can give them to you, but that is not what I'm hanging my hat on.
Well, except that you hung one of your hats on that argument already.
Here?
So, in public, you've done this. It's a big world out there.
I think, can I just speak? I just had a question. If the job currently is being done by somebody, currently, at whatever percent she's doing it at, and the remainder is being done by somebody else in town or whatever department, what is the urgent need? I know there can always become cases where we need to have another voice or what have you, but I feel like right now, especially this year with the senior center that we desperately need to do something with, the school that needs to do something with, all of us are taxed to the point where we get our bill and literally cringe. And to know that we're looking at adding an entire position at the cost, it would be whatever, 10,000 additional more. It just seems every year between the salary increase across the board and additional positions or what have you, it's constantly going up. It doesn't seem like anything's ever being cut or pulled back on. So I think for people who, I don't work for the town and I don't work here, but I think as a regular citizen, it's really difficult to see these things over and over. And I know this position has been brought up before and it was never approved. So I guess why does it keep coming up, even though, you know, whatever the reasoning is, I think it's hard for people like us to understand, why do we keep having to add people? The town hasn't grown much in population. We don't have more businesses. We don't have more money coming in. We just don't. So my concern, that would be, I think, some outside of working for the town, that would be my layperson's concern.
I personally agree with Mary here. We were charged to create a budget that was level service. This is obviously a change in service. If this were being funded within the departments, I think I could get behind it, but it seems like we are just asking to fund this on the backs of the taxpayers, not making cuts to any of our departments to do the work that these departments need. And in business, if there's only so much money coming in, you find a way to get it done with the money that's coming in. I think if they could fund this within the departments, I could get on board with it, but to ask to fill another position at an additional cost to the taxpayers is not what we were charged with at the beginning of the year.
So just a point on what you said about the tax bill and how people are affected. I think everybody here at the table, at the selectmen, every time we talk, every time we go to a school committee meeting, we're talking about the tax bill. And I think everyone knows that our tax bills are very high in comparison to what people believe they receive. I'm not saying what they receive is not what they're, I believe that a lot of people think that they're overpaying for the services that they see that they're getting, and not a lot of people take advantages of the services that are provided. So I think there are a number of people that do receive services from the town that think they get a great service. So
I'm not saying that we don't receive appropriate, I just think any town you compare to us, we do have one of the highest tax rates. And I know it's because we don't have a lot of business coming in or providing taxes for any relief for us, and I completely get that. But the places that I work for, when things are tight and they have to pay additional bills, they cut back on everything, supplies, staffing, whatever it happens to be. It's just how, and I think a town needs to be run someone like a business where you really do have to look at every single contract you have with the copy machine guys, the supply paper, every single thing. Everybody needs to somehow cut back. In my own house, we have to cut back. It's how we all manage to stay liquid and be able to live our lives. And I think if we see the town doing the same, really trying to tighten its belt instead of going to town meeting and have 15 pages of, I need 5,000 for this and 15 for this and 20, I think it's really hard for us to see that everyone's tightening their belt if they all still are asking for additional things to keep their department to where it is. Do you know what I mean?
I understand. Charlie?
I think it's a valid argument to make in terms of what people are paying and what they think they're getting in terms of value. I'm not disagreeing with that at all, in the sense that if what you see is not enough value, the additional taxes you're paying, then I understand the argument of voting no. Let alone the fact, even if you thought it was valuable, if you feel, I can't afford this, I'm gonna vote no. Those are all valid arguments to make about this. I might disagree with you, that's fine, but there's certainly valid arguments to make. But I think our obligation is to bring this to the townspeople, and the townspeople will make a decision about it. So the Finance Committee is going to make a recommendation one way or the other too. But we'll have that, we'll have a discussion tonight, we'll have a discussion at town meeting. If the town says no, then we'll carry on as well as we can, knowing the risks involved in not going ahead with something like this.
Kim, you had.
I just want to address a couple things. First of all, I'm thrilled to see residents here. This is great, because this is where you're going to find out how your money is spent. And I really am so happy that you took the time out of your busy lives to be here. And I do want to talk a little bit about, not the HR position, but just in general, the town's budgets, because I want you to feel comfortable that we do look at efficiencies, that, you know, we made a huge decision this year by consolidating 911. That was not an easy decision, probably the hardest I've ever made in my 24 years of volunteering for the town. So, and I want you to know that this particular group of the Finance Committee, they vet everything. I want you to feel comfortable, and if you come to more meetings, you'll see that they question everybody on every single line item, and they have to provide backup to kind of back into that number. And we have cut expenses in the past. We have cut staff in the past when we've needed to. And so there are other things, even though there may not be a large increase in population, the things that have really hit us is we've had large increases in special education. And those amounts are $400,000 a year, and it's really hard to absorb that amount. And so we try to remanage things, and so particular departments you haven't seen grown in years and years and years. If anything, you've seen expenses. And the other thing that drives expenses too are mandates. These silly mandates that we're under, that we have to fill out paperwork, or we have to do this. And it's insane. We all sit here in this room going, oh my gosh, like I can't even believe it. So I just want you to feel comfortable and invite you to continue to these meetings, because you will definitely feel a little bit more comfortable. And I want to address the whole tax rate thing. I know that I want to talk about the tax bill, because the rate varies depending on values. Like you might see that we have a higher tax rate because we have lower values, and there's a lot that goes into what a tax rate looks like. But if you look at your tax bill, certainly we have increased taxes. And you brought up an excellent point. Part of that is because we have a very low commercial base. Oh, no worries, Mary, really, it's totally fine. We have tried to get more commercial. We had Barry Bluestone, who's this renowned economist, come in a few years ago and look at things and see how we could get more businesses. And the problem is we're not attractive to businesses because of our location. We've looked at ways that we can look at things that we control, like permitting, helping make it easier. Like we're doing all of those things, but we can't change our location to make us more attractive to other places. So just know that we do try that we are trying so hard, because as Gordon said earlier, we are so mindful of the tax bill. And I'm not blaming anything in the schools. These aren't anything that we can control at all. But the reality is when you're having $400,000 increases per year on mandates like special education for students that need to be serviced in other areas, they need their children serviced. I'm not questioning that at all. But it definitely messes with the town's budget. And so, again, thank you for being here, and you'll learn so much about how your tax money is spent in this room.
Thank you.
Oh, I was just going to say, going forward, Charlie's comment about the straw man question that I had, I guess. I think if we're going to inform the public further, we should also refrain from scare tactics of bringing up $4 million lawsuits, and this is why we need an HR position too. I think information is good. I think perhaps his hands up what he cited, and I also, well, forget it.
Charlie?
Well, I don't think the $4 million case in Brockton is a scare tactic. In fact, it's a lesson to governments and businesses, doesn't matter whether you're private or public, that if you make bad HR decisions, you will pay for it. And if you don't educate your staff, if you don't have people, in fact, to do that sort of thing, you are more easily going to make those bad HR decisions, and you will pay. And $4 million for this town is a lot more than $4 million for Brockton.
Right, and I'm sure a judgment also takes into
So
account the coffers of the
I
town
kind
as
of
well.
want to just,
No, sorry, I have to do, the capability of Brockton to pay had no bearing on the judgment.
Well,
so I kind of want to just come back to
Yeah.
Yeah.
the meeting and if there's, relevant comments on the particular items.
I
That's okay,
actually,
yes.
if you don't mind, I have a comment about the HR position, because again, we did bring it up a few years ago, and you're right, Mary, town meeting did not support that. Again, I'll go back to the mandates, and I'll go back to the fact that Charlie does do part of the roles, but as everybody knows in this room, Charlie's role has expanded in other areas because of mandates, and so it's really about the need of the town and the particulars of why we feel adding the 10,000 is an efficient way of handling this particular role. Again, it will be debated at town meeting, and the townspeople will decide, and if they don't want to fund it, we'll support that, and we're going to do the best that we can to manage that role as we've been trying to do. We are concerned about certain things falling through the cracks, and again, we only have so much staff here, and we have, again, a lot of, his job is so huge, I can't even tell you. And, in addition to that, he's been so great about trying to inform the people and on Facebook on different issues, whether it's the senior center, whether it's, Mudfest, whatever it may be. It's just, the jobs have grown so much, and I can't tell you enough about like insurance and retirement and all those kinds of things that need to be followed to the T, or else I don't know how much we could be sued, but if we're not doing and we're not training our staff in the right way, we do open ourselves to bigger liabilities, that's all.
So this HR position, can I just ask, would it be, a professional HR person is huge amounts of money. So are they gonna, I don't know anyone with true, I worked for a Fortune 500 company for 20 years, and our HR director made $150,000. How could a $40,000 position truly encapsulate someone of that level of a job? That is a huge, huge job. So we're saying $40,000, and does that mean, I know there's someone that's doing the job, and maybe that's why it would be that low of a rate if she was moving into that job, but I can't see hiring someone as an HR director anywhere near $40,000.
Well, it's actually not 40,000, it's based on the 28 hours. It's a grade 10. So what's the salary for the grade 10, Sandy? So it's prorated for the 28 hours. I don't have that figure.
A grade 10 is, goes from 57,873 to 66,643 at this time. But like you said, it's prorated,
It's
so the
prorated.
position staying at 28 hours would be from 40,511 to 46,650.
Does that answer your question, Mary? I know it still sounds like a low salary, but that's what a grade 10 pays.
And
Yes, Charlie?
And you mentioned the Fortune 500 company with an HR person director at 150,000. Well, what that person was expected to do was be the HR director for a Fortune 500 company. We're not a Fortune 500 company. Just as we have small police department, small library, small fire department, small highway department, and we don't pay the salaries for those department heads in those departments compared to a Pembroke or a Kingston or a Situate, for instance. We pay lower salaries for everything here. We will get the best qualified candidate we can for the amount of money that we have available. Same is true for the other jobs, where department heads and not department heads. As I say to some, when I do some bargaining and such, at best we're Pawtucket, we're not Boston. In some cases, we're Portland, not even Pawtucket.
But they still need to know the same information. I mean, HR and the laws for payroll, for whatever, they're all the same. It doesn't matter where you, I mean, I know the salary would be less, but you need a true HR professional who's been trained and educated in this area for, to do this job, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Diane, in 2011, this was proposed as a grade 8. Why the step to grade 10?
That's what it was proposed to us as, and looking over the salaries, that's what we decided on, compared to other HR positions. too.
Okay.
So currently, the assistant treasurer is the one doing the HR work now, correct?
Correct.
How many hours a week is that assistant treasurer work?
I believe she works, what, 28? Well, she was, yeah, she does both positions. I believe she does 4 hours assistant treasurer work.
It's really
That
hard to tell.
depends,
It's different
yeah,
week
depends
to
on the week.
And
Because that's what's
she
being
doesn't
moved
do
right now.
all the HR work.
Mhm.
Basically, she is doing
Some of it.
benefits and that. But she finds that a lot of people go to her with other questions, that some she can help them with and some she is not in a position to help them with.
Mhm.
And that's one of the issues, is that we don't have, there's like a gap.
So is the assistant treasurer's position going to become less hours if that role is going to be taken away from her?
What
Yeah.
may I?
Yes,
Sorry,
go ahead,
yeah.
John.
So what the treasurer collector's proposed is, in fact, there'll be one assistant treasurer collector. So the number will, that body, and not necessarily the same body, but that slot position, whatever you want to call it, number of people, that one person moves into HR. The number of people in the treasurer collector's office total goes down by one.
So which line are we talking about cutting?
It's got to be
We
here,
would be cutting the treasurer clerical line.
because that's not 2% over that. That's
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And Diane, you would have to post that position?
Yes, that
Yes.
would
The
be
treasurer
posted, that would be
collector
posted,
assistant?
if it's approved at town meeting, it would be posted, yeah.
So that's line 21 that would be cut?
No, I mean, to hire, you'd have to repost
Yes,
that position.
absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, number 21.
Do we know what that number
Yeah,
should
it
be?
would go down to 27,245, which would be reduced by 33,187.
One more time.
It would be reduced by 33,187.
And the number we should vote if we recommend that.
If you recommend that, well, I put the 2% increase in there, so I don't have the exact number depending on whether you vote the 2% increase or not.
Give it to us if we,
All right, if you vote the 2% increase and you vote to recommend the human resource position, you would be voting 27,245 for the treasurer clerical line.
So if you check my math, then that'd be the net difference would be 7,000.
We added
400.
also, there would be an expense line added for the human resource, which would be $2,500.
So-
Right. So I was coming up with, and actually what I did, because when you offer a job, we've often found that if you do get a candidate who's highly qualified, the department head goes to town meeting, to the Wage and Personnel Committee, asks for a higher step. So rather than doing the figures at step 1, I did the figures at step 2, just to encompass that in case we have that happen, just so that we'd have a more accurate budget figure. So that's why the increase was 10,000.
It's a light show out there.
I know.
That's why the increase came to 10,973.56.
okay. So is,
12-year-old dog afraid of thunder.
The dog, I just said my dog's probably hiding right now.
Yeah, Sophie's afraid of thunder and Griffin's home with the dogs.
Oh, that is not a good one.
any more comments on wage article? Okay. So number 1, recommend a 2% across the board wage for all wage and personnel employees. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to recommend 2%.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
I know we've kind of beat this back and forth over the past couple of years,
Okay.
but I personally don't believe the backs of the employees are the place to balance the budget. I think we have some money this year, and the employees should see that. I know we've been pretty tight with them the past couple of years.
Okay.
Is it better to vote this one line? Is that necessary if we go through?
Well, we have to give, so at town meeting, we have to give our recommendation on their
On the-
wage recommendation.
So this actually translates into a specific
On
article?
the
do,
article for
yeah.
Article 2, so normally what happens at town meeting is we break down each subsection.
Okay.
So we give a recommendation on each part. Okay, any further discussion? All those,
Mel, are you saying that we have money because of the dispatch department? Is that why you just said we have?
We have some, we haven't spent to the levy this year. That's why I asked Sandy earlier, what are, the difference between what we're actually spending and what all the increases in taxes and revenues generates for income for the town. Currently, we have about, let's call it 600,000 with all the proposals left over that we won't spend with all the articles that we have before us and the increase in the operating budget. We have about 600,000 left over for emergency situations like special needs or out of vocation things, some real heavy hitters that come at us during the course of the year, that we don't have to have a special town meeting
no,
to
so,
fund those.
no, you would. So what happens at town meeting, once everything's voted, we set the tax levy.
Right,
So once the tax levy is set and the assessors and the selectmen take their vote, the tax rate will be set, and any money that's left in excess capacity, which is the number we're talking about, which is, you have the levy limit, which is here, you can tax to the levy limit or you can tax below. So what we're talking about is this $600,000 between what's in our budget proposed right here and the top of the levy limit. So if we go to town meeting and there's $600,000 that's left in excess capacity, then that money is not taxed. The money is able to be taxed at the next year because the levy limit stays the same.
Okay.
The 2.5% goes on top. So if whatever money is in excess capacity after town meeting, up until September timeframe, that would be your excess capacity.
but we try not to spend all the way to what we can, I guess is our operating philosophy.
Sophie have tried to, yes. So your tax bill with this budget will increase, but it won't increase to the maximum that it could by law. If this is, the proposed budget is what's voted at town meeting. On which case I'll have to run all these numbers tonight, so I can give you, Sandy, tomorrow?
I'll
Are
be
you-
ready first thing in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
On print day. Yep, it's a tradition.
I already told him. I
Well,
need
I asked, is there an updated new growth number? Because I asked Karen for it today and it didn't get one.
She did not give me an updated new growth. I told you the number I was using, she said she's a little bit higher
Okay.
on new growth, but she did not give me a new one. I don't know whether she'll be in tomorrow morning or not, but
Okay.
if not, we go with the number that we have.
Okay. So once you update the spreadsheet, can you send me the whole spreadsheet?
Oh, I will.
Thank you. And I'll get that letter done about noon time, I think.
Oh, no.
Does Charlie need a bubble
It will be
five?
helpful.
Pam's gonna be at my door.
Pam and I will be here till noon, so
She'll ride shotgun and all.
I know, I was gonna say, I'm gonna be in the driveway too.
she'll be scratching at my door.
Okay, so all those in favor on number 1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. The ayes carry it. Number 2, human resource. So is there a motion to approve, and then we discuss afterwards? Is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Is there a second? To discuss it?
I will second for discussion.
Okay. Who is the HR person going to report to?
The job description says the town administrator.
To the town administrator.
Do we have a copy of the job description, Sandy?
I did not bring it with me.
Okay.
tonight.
I haven't.
I know I had given it to
Yeah.
Sue. I don't have
Okay.
copies.
I didn't bring it either, sorry.
If just one other question, if this position is created and somebody else gets the job, do we need to add money to unemployment?
Well, no, we won't right immediately, because in fact, we already have an article not connected with any decision-making about this to put additional money in the unemployment fund. A
There was
separate
that
article.
money in it.
And there's sufficient, as far as I know, there'd be sufficient money to cover the situation anyway. So-
Okay, just wanted to ask. Okay. So the total increase would be 10,970 to create this function, to create this position with, okay. Any further questions, discussion?
I'll reiterate my statement from earlier.
Do we have a job description? I mean, what,
We have a full job description that has been written for the position. We just presented it to, actually, I'm the one who proposed the position. So I do feel it's very necessary. I watched the way things happen in town hall and in town, not just town hall. This position would represent all of the town employees, the teachers, all the unions, and the wage and personnel people. We have approximately 230 to 250 employees. We have a $22 million budget. You need someone who is there for your employees and is there for the department heads, is making sure that regulations are being followed, hiring and firing is done in an appropriate way to avoid lawsuits, to avoid the State Ethics Commission coming after us. I think it's time that we have that here in Halifax.
Does
Yeah.
the superintendent's office have an HR person that deals with like the teachers? I work for a different town and we have an HR.
Oh, you mean at the school?
Mhm.
Is Christina
I
business
think
manager?
Christine is the
Yeah,
She's the
person
business
responsible.
manager.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think so.
We
But if
don't-
a teacher was going, if there was a position for a third grade teacher,
They go to the school, but if you retire and you need
You go
health
to
insurance, you would go,
whatever.
well, you, health insurance, you would
Yeah.
come to the town.
All the benefits, yeah, the health insurance,
So,
retirement,
yeah,
it's all handled by the town. For the
Town I work
elementary
for is
school
different than
teachers,
Mm.
for the elementary school teachers,
Yes.
not the Silver.
not Silver Lake. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Okay. So, can we just do a show of hands for the aye?
Oh, to move discussion, correct?
No, to
No.
vote
No.
for this.
Oh, okay.
So, all those in favor, aye.
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 Okay, opposed?
No.
Okay, abstaining.
Abstaining.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think that passes 3 out of the 6. According to our rules that we have 6, we need 4. So it does, we do not recommend.
You haven't voted to do that.
Yeah, that was,
Well, we not recommend.
Well, you.
Okay, so,
You had a motion to recommend, that was defeated, but you didn't have a motion not to recommend. So, and until you come to a
Okay.
decision one way or the other, or make or you can say recommendation at town meeting.
I voted no.
well, so that goes back to what John has said at town meeting, when we don't have a recommendation, we don't recommend.
So that's not a majority.
right.
That's why I
I
asked him.
understand that, but to me, it reads differently. There's two different things between not making a recommendation and not recommending.
Okay, so is there a motion not to recommend?
I'll make the motion not to recommend.
Is there a second? Okay, so in the noting of this, can we say it's a 3-1-2 vote?
That's what I used to do when I was on the finance committee. Like when somebody, if we didn't have a definitive, I would just say, we were unable to come to a majority vote, it was this to this.
And
Right.
since, yeah, and since.
Do you want to print that? What do you?
No,
Yes,
it's
yeah, I
it's
think
fine,
that
because
might be-
it's your warrant.
Yeah.
In the sense of, whatever you want to print as your recommendation,
Yeah.
that's fine. One
So-
way or whatever you want to say.
No, no majority,
We were unable to come to a majority vote.
yeah. And then, I guess, at the meeting, I'll be prepared to say it was a 3-1-2 vote.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Number 3. Recommend the removal of the merit portion of the bylaw. Any employee who currently receives merit compensation will be grandfathered in. So are you gonna just, in here, note employees hired after such a date are not
No,
eligible?
everybody that receives the merit right now, as of, on the date of the meeting,
Okay,
I mean, the date it's approved, it will no longer be in the bylaws come July 1st.
Only the people who have received it before in years
Pe-
past, so you're not
people-
gonna
yeah.
reduce those people's pay.
People that are actually getting it in their pay right now,
Okay.
it won't be reduced.
Right.
But no one will be eligible for it.
no new person be
Correct.
eligible.
Well, nobody,
As,
period. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter how
nobody.
long you've been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It
doesn't
just will
matter.
go away.
But you're not
Yeah.
reducing
No
the
one is
base pay.
eligible.
Say
Okay.
Mrs. Smith has
Yeah.
and she still works for the town, and she has a merit increase. We would not go and say, I'm sorry, we need that
Yeah,
back.
we're not taking that.
But
But
if
Mrs.
Mrs. Jones
Jones-
has been here for 30 years or 5 days, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Mrs. Jones will never be eligible for the merit
No
increase.
merit for you.
But you're gonna have to leave it in the bylaw.
Um,
This section would have to stay, right, until the last
I
person
don't think we
retires?
have anybody with one, actually.
Yes, we do, we have a couple employees right
Oh,
now.
we do? Okay.
So just thinking, we probably will need to stay in the bylaw, at least
Well,
the subsection.
Yeah, we'll have to put something that says merit increases approved before blankety blank, whatever date is, May
Yep.
8th,
Mhm.
remain in force until the person retires.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How much time does it take to manage that merit system? I mean, I would have presumed that would have been a function of an HR manager to do that.
Charlie?
Well, the way the logistics are set up right now is that the person has to have been at the top step, and you can tell me if I'm wrong.
Top step.
Top step for at least 5 years. And during those 5 years, has to receive
The
the top.
evaluation.
Continuing exceeds or meets expectations on their evaluations.
And those evaluations have to be filed.
Right.
Then, if the department head wants to, there's no requirement that the department head does this. The department head can then put before wage and personnel a request for a merit increase for that person. Then wage and personnel can make a recommendation on that.
They're all supposed to give evidence as to why that person deserves merit increase. It's not a longevity, it's not just because they've been there 5
Right.
years,
I-
longer than their top staff.
I get the, I
And then
get
it has to go to town meeting floor.
the functionality
Yeah,
of it. Really, my question is, what does it take to manage that? Because if going back to the HR manager problem, that presumably a HR manager would handle that for the town. Here, we're trying to establish a position, and we're removing sort of the work requirements of an HR manager.
well, the HR, this had nothing,
This
this
has
doesn't,
nothing to
this
do-
does not go through the assistant treasurer at all. Right
This
now. The way it doesn't go through the.
Goes from the supervisor
Well, again,
to
not
wage
having
and
a job
personnel to town
description,
meeting.
we don't
No,
specifically
it's
know.
not in there at all. It's not anywhere in that job
The,
description.
the merit bylaw is specifically written out what the process is to
Yeah.
obtain.
Yeah.
So it's, you have to do X, Y, Z, and then your department head has to file that.
I haven't been a super fan of this particular bylaw, and I'm happy to see it go
Mm.
away.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
I'm
it wasn't,
just
there
trying
was,
to
yeah, I
understand the
your
connection
point.
between
Yes.
who's managing it.
Yes,
Oh,
and-
it would be
This-
town,
The department has.
That's the
are
problem
managing it.
too, though, is that no one's managing it.
Well,
So one department head, if they're especially vocal and doesn't mind getting up on town meeting floor, is gonna go and recommend their person for a merit increase. Another person who works just as hard, their department head is quiet, doesn't like to be on town meeting floor, they're never going to recommend their employee for a merit increase. It doesn't matter how hard the employee works. And that's one of the issues with that merit.
And my issue with it is I would want something tangible. Did it say, did the person go above and beyond and save money? Did they come up with an efficient, something, that's like a new way of doing things? Like I wanted something newer and we haven't really been able to do that. And so I really feel that.
Yeah, it's an unfair process.
Yeah, we need to.
So, do we move this already, or did I take discussion?
For what?
You took discussion before it was moved.
Yeah. We haven't moved it.
No worries, you can do that.
Is there a motion to approve the recommendation?
I have a question first. So, just so I'm clear on what this narrative is, I think what I heard was that someone's at the top step and they're capped out on their salary. The only way their salary can increase is through this merit process.
Well, no, they get the across the board raises also. So, but as far as that, then so they're eligible for any across the board raises, they get their longevity. But that merit would give them, and it's between 1% and 5%, whatever is voted, whatever their supervisor asks for and is voted on town meeting.
So this would not be in lieu of typical annual or whatever cost of living increase or
No.
cost is on top?
No,
It's on
it's
top?
on top.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve?
I will make the motion to approve number 3 as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
It passes unanimously. Heard everyone, correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
I didn't hear any nays.
Well, I didn't ask, so.
If I said nay, you'd know it.
Good man, Gordon.
Number 5.
4.
4, increase the longevity award in the bylaw. So is there a motion to approve for discussion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
Where are the majority of the employees on the scale as far as years of service?
Sandy has a
There's a
Grid of that.
spreadsheet in the
Oh,
next
is there?
page.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
We actually have them all over the board from, on the wage and personnel employees, we have them from 10 years to 25 years. It's pretty spread out.
And since we did the change to the firefighters, fire study, we removed the call firefighters from longevity.
We have no firefighters who are receiving longevity at this time.
No, yeah.
Okay.
It's in their contract, they're just
Well,
really.
no, what they're talking, you're talking about the call.
No, when we did the fire study, I'm trying to remember, I think,
Call people weren't,
I
I
don't,
don't think they're included in, they're not
No.
included in the longevity because of the
They're-
sporadic nature of the,
Okay.
at this point.
I know we talked about it, that's why I asked you.
I know, that was so 3 years ago.
3, I think it was like 5.
I'm trying to remember it now.
Okay. So if it doesn't affect them, it doesn't matter.
Diane, just to be clear,
Yes.
with your comps with the other towns, these numbers represent kind of the baseline. Some of the other
Correct,
towns are doing
yes.
more, but this is kind of the baseline of what our
Yes.
comp towns
Yep.
are doing.
It was in line with the other towns. And like I said, this hasn't been changed in like
23 years.
20 odd years. And there's only 6 steps, and we're not sure what the reclassification is going to take us, but if we stay within the 6 steps, this gives incentive to employees to stay with the town. And breaking it down the way we did, we thought it looked more attractive, saying, to keep somebody from 10 to 14 years, it's going to cost us $10 per week for an employee. It's not a lot of money. Especially compared to what it is now. I mean, if you look to see what it is now, 10 to 14 years, it's $150 for a full-time employee. That's nothing. It just doesn't seem much of a compensation to keep a good employee. Yes?
This is for wage and personnel employees. How many wage and
Yes.
personnel employees are
There is
employed?
70 odd one.
Well, that's probably about right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
70-ish?
yes. And of course, anybody under the 20 hours, it would be half the compensation of this. It just didn't seem like a lot to keep a good employee for incentive, because right now we only have 6 steps. So from the 6th year to the 10th year, other than getting an increase at town meeting, there's nothing for the employee. Especially now that we're getting rid of the merit too, maybe after 10 years.
Not everybody gets an increase every year either, though.
No, that's true, that's true.
That is a true statement.
Yes, at least at my house.
That's very true.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
I,
Okay, show of hands for the aye.
I'm gonna vote aye. I'm torn, but I'm voting aye.
Okay, so that's everyone. Number 5, to recommend revisiting the bylaw, fire department, modify appendix A, extra C, extra details to read, extra details to outside contractors, not town-related details are to be paid a 2-hour minimum, an hourly rate of $50 an hour. Details for the town of Halifax shall be paid based on the employee's regular rates. So, just a quick question on that. They wouldn't get overtime if it puts them into overtime?
Well, that means the regular rates, so that.
Their regular rate, not the hourly rate of.
Right, so that if they're working overtime, they'll get time and a half based on their regular rate.
Okay,
If they're working a town detail.
okay.
The $50 is the equivalent of what the full-time firefighters are doing. Since our call people are, if they're doing a detail, are doing the same thing. So if they're working a non-town detail, they'll get the same compensation
Okay.
as the full-timers.
A motion to approve?
So moved.
seconded.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
That's everyone. Unanimous. Number 6, a memo from the Board of Water Commissioners dated December 22nd, 2000. Oh, so you haven't voted on that, so we're
I
gonna skip
believe
that.
this was voted on Monday. I wasn't at the meeting.
It was not.
It was not voted for.
It was voted against?
It was voted against, correct.
Okay. Is there a,
So it's not being presented to
It's
us.
not
so it's not gonna be
presented.
on here,
No.
but it could still come up at town meeting?
Correct.
Yes.
The
They were looking for a
proposer
stipend.
could still bring it to town meeting.
Okay.
What
But it's not gonna be printed in the warrant?
No, what they'll, in the warrant, as I've done in previous years, there'll be a link to those proposed amendments that were not recommended by wage and personnel. And there'll be a blurb indicating that if someone wants to, they can still be brought up. But there'll be a link to the town's website with the amendments that were not recommended. We've done that way in previous years.
Okay. Number 7, recommend revising the bylaw, section 35-12, membership. C, notwithstanding the provisions of subsection A, in the event there were only 2 appointed members of the Wage and Personnel Board, a member from the Board of Selectmen or a member from the Finance Committee shall serve as a member of the Wage and Personnel Board. Such members to be, so the only thing I would do to this is change it as a majority vote between the two.
Yeah, first of all, it should be a sentence, not serve. No,
But we ran into a problem
I don't
last
think that
year.
we've been so, I think that we've
Mhm.
asked your opinion of who you want, to be honest. So I'm happy with a majority vote within the board, just sort of like you vote your own liaisons. You
Such
you
members
guys
could
know
be
about-
designated
So,
by
but-
both boards.
But it says when there's only 2 members.
Oh,
So
when
this
there's
is this is different than when we
Oh,
vote our
okay.
own. So I'm
Okay.
saying,
Okay.
so we're gonna, this would
Yeah, I
be
guess it
putting
needs to
one,
be-
so I would recommend we change the language so that it's a joint vote between
Yeah.
the selectmen and the finance committee.
Okay.
Yes.
So scratch.
So that the finance committee can outvote the selectmen and put
Yes.
one of them on.
Oh, 3 members of the finance to 3 members of the selectmen, even the
Oh,
owners.
no. Total outvote.
So change the wording, scratch their respective to both boards?
To a joint vote.
Majority vote?
Is that okay, Diane?
Yes, that's fine, absolutely. It's just we ran into that problem
Oh,
last
sure.
year when Janice left
Yeah.
and Maureen passed away.
You're right.
Yeah,
So this makes up for the third member when
yes,
it's.
right, correct.
Right.
So.
So we're not in a predicament like that again, hopefully.
I mean, because the problem is if you've got only 2 people.
You
and,
can't.
know, Somebody's sick, for instance,
Mhm.
boom, you have no meeting, at least
Yeah.
with 3 people, if 2 of them show up, you've got a better
Yeah.
chance of
Right.
getting some stuff done.
So with the editorial change, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
And you did-
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Number 8, recommend the revising the bylaw, section 35-17, increases so that employee evaluation ratings coincide with the ratings on the new evaluation form. So is this going to change based on any
Actually,
work?
we have a new evaluation form, so we just want to change the evaluation ratings. Right now, they correspond to the old form, so these will be in line with the new form.
Okay.
So it's not going to change anything other than the wording in the bylaw
Okay.
for the
So,
evaluation rating. Does that make sense?
yes.
Okay.
So it increases so that the employee evaluation ratings coincide with the ratings on the new evaluation form. Above average, consistently fulfills job requirements and extends contributions beyond them. Regularly meets and sometimes exceeds goals. Satisfactory, consistently meets minimum job requirements but makes limited effort beyond them. Adequate achieving the goals. So I'm assuming there's other things that are staying the same? Because there's not just 2 ratings.
Actually, there's satisfactory.
Above
There's
average.
2.
Because there's only 2 here.
The evaluation form, do you have an evaluation form handy?
I don't have one with me, but I think,
Yes,
I think
Susan
they
typed this
only
up.
put the 2 that are needed for,
Yeah,
Changing.
I don't have it in front of me, but Sue typed this
I'm
up.
just guessing that there's other levels on that form.
you're
Usually
not
there's
gonna need that anymore.
4 or 5.
Diane,
Yes.
you're not gonna need that section anymore because we did away with the merit.
Yeah, but this is gonna be, it changes the bylaw, because the bylaw reads according to the old evaluation sheet, so we're gonna have to change this. Because
But isn't that in the merit section of the bylaw?
I don't think so.
I
Well,
think
I think it's
no,
just,
this is for.
because
No,
the
this is part of the
evaluation.
yearly
This is
evaluation,
the
it
yearly
sounds like to me.
evaluation.
it's just talking
But I know what you're
about
saying
yearly
about the
evaluation.
merit, they had to meet the CE,
Right,
yeah.
all right,
So
so
that's
it's
gonna have
not
no
that
bearing
part.
on that, no,
All right,
yeah.
okay, Charlie's looking it up now.
Okay.
Stay with the plan.
Just a question, and I'm sure it's nothing but semantics.
Mm-hmm.
You've got above average and you have satisfactory. So what constitutes average? Meaning, it would seem to me that would want to be above satisfactory or changing satisfactory to average,
Evaluation form.
such that you make the distinction,
Yes.
that you're going from, somebody doesn't come in and try and make a case that, hey, I'm above average. You don't say what average is, but I know I'm above it.
I'll go for
Yeah, I have to pull out the new evaluation sheet to show you.
Is there anything else?
I would brought one. I know what to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's just on
It's
my
just,
mind.
yeah, it's on the new evaluation sheet. I wish I brought my file with me.
That's okay,
Yeah.
we don't.
Do you want to just skip this one?
Yeah, we could skip it, I can bring the evaluation. Do you have a blank
Charlie's
evaluation?
pulling one out.
Okay, good.
Hang on.
If you want, we'll work on something else for a minute.
Okay.
Come back.
Well, that's it, Charlie, we're done.
Is it?
It's the last part of the page.
Yeah, the old evaluation was very, it didn't work with all the departments, so we revised that, and I forget exactly.
Could you understand, so the
I know what you're
path I'm
saying.
trying to go down?
Yeah,
Just, I've seen in business
What do you want?
this trap
They want to
before.
know.
it just seems the new evaluation is
Okay.
working out very
So there
well.
are 5 possible ratings.
Okay.
Outstanding, above average, satisfactory, below average, unsatisfactory.
Okay.
So above.
Does seem a little redundant, I agree.
Yeah,
Wouldn't below average be unsatisfactory?
I would
But
think.
Yeah,
it gives a little bit more
Well,
explanation.
I mean, it's, okay, so below average is inconsistent in job.
Really below average.
Right.
Below average,
Hold on, let Charlie go.
below average is inconsistent in job performance, but improvement possible. Unsatisfactory does not meet minimum job requirements. Basically, in my mind, if you're gonna an unsatisfactory rating, you either are gonna have to improve dramatically very quickly, or you're gonna be out the door, because you're saying does not meet minimum job requirements. They're not doing the job by any stretch.
Right.
It's time to wave them goodbye.
And unsatisfactory means that maybe there's a little hope.
No.
No, that's
unsatisfactory.
Oh, below average means.
Yes.
Below average, there's hope.
Below average is above unsatisfactory.
Oh,
you've been using the new evaluation form though, correct?
I did, yeah.
how's
But
it
I
working
have a
out?
really good
Yeah.
employee.
Well, Charlie was just waving his hand bye-bye to me. Is that me? Is that what
And nobody evaluates you.
Don't take it,
The taxpayers
The voters
evaluate.
do.
The voters do, once every
That's what
3 years.
That's simply a yes or no. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Is it working out the
I
new
think it's been
evaluation
working
form
out very
compared to the old one?
Yes, I think it's been working out very well.
All right, so I'll make a
It's
motion
easier to
to
use.
approve number 8 as written.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
You're almost done?
No, now we have to do the real part.
Gordon, before we move on,
Yes.
sections A through F, did I miss that? Or did we-
It's like waiting.
We didn't
That-
go over these.
So
Oh, no, that's just
it's
an
just
attachment
printed
for the longevity.
because
Sorry.
they were grabbing the longevity.
This came out of the
Yeah.
handbook.
I asked the same thing. I started reading those earlier.
You gotta remember that.
Yeah, what are you doing? All the time. I'm used to it. Okay,
Where are you going from here?
so in the handout that I have, and I'm not sure if everyone,
Are we
Yeah.
doing this or are we doing this?
so we have a copy of the assessments that get handed out the last meeting.
On Monday, yep.
Okay. We have an email from the audit line. Did that get taken care of?
I don't know if we voted it. We didn't vote anything on Monday.
Okay.
Linda, you look, sorry. She's like, sorry. And I feel the same way.
Line, so we didn't do line 42 either, the custodial line.
We didn't vote either of those.
Okay. Are those updates in here?
Everything's, I believe so.
We should just check them, that's why.
Okay.
The only thing, in the handouts that you have that show the 2% increase.
Yes,
Okay, the longevity is not included in that, so I'll be giving you new figures
right now.
for the departments that have longevity.
Okay.
And then in the library, the expense line is going to go down when we get there.
Okay.
Or I have to do it now, because she made the agreement.
Yep,
Because their expense line is high to keep their certification, that if their wage line went up, they would
They would
bring
make
their
the adjustment,
expense line
yes.
down. I've already
Oh, that's
spoken with her, and she does agree with that.
okay.
Does everyone have
An
an
updated,
updated sheet from Monday?
This is the 4/3/5:49 PM one.
That's what we're using.
okay,
Okay.
so. Line 3,
Kim, do you want one?
No, thank you.
Town administrator's salary,
yes.
$93,582.
Is there
93,582,
Mhm.
and that was line 3.
So my sheet says 93,082.
Right, 500 is because it's 500 more in longevity. You guys
Hmm.
recommended the longevity, so I'm adding those into those
Okay.
figures.
Got it.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve 93,582.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Line 4,
That's the 78,197.
that's correct. Okay, is there a motion for 78,197?
I move for 78,197.
Second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No, I'm just letting Kendra know I'm leaving it to that end so she doesn't have
What do you
to
mean?
type different names.
Oh.
I know, I was like, well, I got two the same, so sorry.
So that was everyone on
Read that
that.
page.
Okay.
Oh, I get it.
I just copy and paste. Wow.
So I am gonna have so much water in my basement when we get
Oh,
done.
pray Lord.
Okay, line clerical, our clerical, 5,000,
165.
okay, that's
Oh, I
correct for
get
line
it.
10?
I'm like, what's our clerical? And I thought,
Line 10.
yeah, us, sorry.
Is there a motion?
I'll move this red.
Is there a second?
Second.
Stu,
Stu, you messed up.
I don't know.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
What do you want me to say?
One of you make the motion, the other one approves, that way she can just copy and paste them all.
All right.
I thought you guys were just gonna swap off every time.
I'm tired.
Okay, line 12,
Line 12, 75,572.
572. Is there a motion?
Move the 75,572.
Is there a second?
And I will second.
Thank you.
For discussion, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous, go. Next line, 49,
49,772.
49,772. Is there a motion?
Move the 49,772.
Is there a
Second.
all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. If I miss a vote, just let me know. Okay, data processing. So here's, I don't know if you guys discussed this. I'm assuming the change here is to, that doesn't seem right.
He had changed it to 89,909. That's what his budget came in at.
So is there an
And
increase?
then there is a 27,000 of that was a wage. So the 2% increase brought it to 90,462.
Okay, gotcha. So is that an increase in hours or is that the same?
It's just the 2%.
It's just the 2%.
Sorry to speak for you.
So data processing, that's a salary line?
So salary and replacement of
Yeah, supplies.
supplies.
All the
computers.
licensing, all the IT stuff.
So a question on that line, SoftWrite, has that been fixed yet?
And it's to do with the, does that have to do with the server?
Well, no, when we talked about it at capital planning, you guys
Yeah.
said there was an issue with SoftWrite and going forward with the contract.
We're still going forward with the contract, and we have the new amounts. We have gotten it in.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I guess I'm just, if you mean just in general, the financial software package, yes, we're continuing with that.
Okay, because at the meeting, it was discussed that maybe we wouldn't be
Well,
with them.
because we're gonna go forward, I think there are reservations for several reasons. One is, there's not so much the increase in cost, because that's minimal. I think it's roughly maybe 2 or 3% between the year we're in now and next year. What we've seen is a decline in the customer service level.
Okay.
SoftWrite isn't actually SoftWrite anymore. It was bought out by Acela, is it?
A seller.
Which has also bought a number of other companies that had their own financial accounting software packages. What we've seen with the buyouts is that, no, I guess the best way to put it is, either no one's important to them, and they're not taking care of any of their customers very well, or the folks they've inherited from Acela, they are particularly, versus other software that they're now administering, they don't care about. You know, we get rumors, for instance, that, they're not gonna make any more improvements to Acela, which might try and force us to buy a higher end product that the big company is selling, but we're not there yet. I mean, there are concerns, but the thing is, what we found out when we did the changeover, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that, it's not easy to move from one financial software package to another. There's a lot of work involved, a lot of headaches.
And you lose history.
And that too, though one would hope we'd lose less history this
We
time.
don't
But
have as much. That's right.
so if we're ever going to make a decision to move, we'd have to have better reasons than we've got right now.
Okay.
What I think, not tomorrow, not necessarily next year, I think you may see more communities talking to each other and saying, we may need to form our own nonprofit or something like that, or contract with a particular firm, because we're not, a lot of towns with other software packages aren't any happier with theirs than we are with ours.
The state has actually looked into doing a financial software for small towns. They haven't gone very far with it.
Seeing they're the ones that require all the,
For the immediate future, yeah, we're staying with SoftWrite. There's, the reasons to stay with them right now certainly outweigh any reasons to leave.
okay. 90,462. Is there a motion?
I'll move the 9462.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
It's everyone. Next line, 17, principal appraiser. 71,545?
Yep.
It's this as printed. Is there a motion?
I move the 71,545.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next line, 18, 63,
424.
424. That's correct?
Yep.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move the 63,424.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay, next line, treasurer clerical.
This is gonna be unique.
So we did not vote to recommend the
Right.
HR position, so we
Right, so we're
will
gonna
just
leave it at the
vote
higher amount.
this amount.
But there is longevity in that line, so you're gonna be voting 61,302.
And y'all might want to put a big asterisk on it, because what will happen is, in terms of the order of the warrant, the first 4 articles are done in order.
Yeah.
So the wage and personnel article, including the HR position, will come before Article 4. So you'll know when we get to Article 4, what the town meeting ended up doing on the HR
Right.
person. If you have to make an adjustment because
We'll
of
have to
that,
vote then.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion for 61,302?
I move the 61,302.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, is there anyone different on that? Okay, unanimous. Okay, so we will keep, so we didn't vote the 8,300 yet? For 24?
No.
Is there a motion for 8,300 for line 24?
I move the 8,300.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye? Unanimous.
Sorry.
That's okay, I heard you. So we will skip the 24A and 24B. I guess that's what we should,
Well,
so,
I didn't put numbers on them because I didn't know that they were going in or not, so we skip those for now,
okay,
all right? Because it will all have to be voted if it passes. If
they'll have to go
human
at the
resource-
bottom.
We'll have to add them, yeah. I'll have to talk to John Bruno and
Because
find
usually we
out how
do
we
total
can do
government
it.
and
We
that's,
gotta keep it in the general government
Okay.
section, so.
that'll be a pink sheet.
I hate this stuff, I'm just really
Oh,
glad
no,
you guys
salmon is
recommended the
wages.
2%.
Salmon's always that wage line, but pink, a big pink.
It's not mauve?
Okay, so clerical, so this one we had a
Clerk
request.
salary
Salary
first.
first.
Yes,
Yeah, 25.
25, so we had a request for increase in hours on this.
Right,
Didn't
2
we just-
hours.
Didn't we just increase that a couple of years ago?
So we didn't increase it to what was requested, we increased it to the amount that was available due to the budget.
Okay.
I think what was left was 2 hours, right?
Believe so, but I'm not positive.
I looked at my notes this morning on it, and it was 2 hours.
Went to 30, yeah, to 32, I think.
So we were,
I have my book if you want me to look
my
it up.
brain is not.
Yeah, she requested this year 2 hours.
2 more hours,
Mm-hmm,
which
To
would
bring
bring
her
it to
to
32?
32.
I believe so.
yes.
Okay. Is the requested amount the amount with the 2 hours, or is
The
this?
requested amount was the amount with the 2 hours.
So, well, before we
Yes.
make you do a calculation, why don't we have a
That's what
discussion
was in the
on,
requested,
on the
because that's
request.
what she requested.
So the request is for an additional 2 hours.
Right.
Is there,
And she originally requested the 5371.
is there a feeling on the committee before we ask Sandy to do the calculation on which is the correct number?
I couldn't calculate it.
Is there a feeling that we should fill the 2 hours and go to what was requested a few years ago, or keep it the same?
Mel, you said it went up last year, a couple hours? You weren't sure?
I thought it was a couple of years ago that
I want to say it
raised,
was two years ago.
they raised it to a 30-hour work week. Now they're looking to raise it to a 32-hour work week.
Charlie, do you have thoughts on that? No?
Where I'm looking down here for my notes.
So,
What had changed a couple of years ago, do you remember?
the request had been there for a number of years. Kim will back me up on that. That the request was there for a number of years. So it came up for a number of years, it was not recommended, it was recommended 2 years ago to add a few additional hours to the position, but not to what was requested. Due to budgetary constraints, not because that the way the vote happened was because of budget constraints, we didn't vote the 32. Not because the committee didn't feel that the 32 was necessary, but because that's what we had for a budget. We have not taken a discussion at this point in time on whether or not we should be adding hours to the budget. I know we talked about the HR position, and that did not go as a recommendation. With the money available, does the committee want to fund those hours, or does the committee want to keep the hours the same?
I'm just concerned, I mean, in 4 years, that budget has grown from 37, we'll call it 38,000 to 50,000, call it 50,000, so 12, like a 24% growth over 3
Yeah, the
years.
significant portion of that is actually on the clerk, not the assistant town clerk.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this one line,
Just the clerk.
yeah,
It's separate.
just this one line, not just the clerk's salary line.
Mine is separate.
Oh,
And that's pretty significant.
No, she's elected, she doesn't get
I
steps.
think the gist of a conversation like this isn't really the rate of increase, the amount paid. What is the job required? What is the demand for the hours to be worked?
And I guess that's where I'm coming from, is like, we're increasing this 24%, how much we're paying for it. Are we asking 24% more of this person? Does the cost justify the increase?
But again, it's what, what does that person need to be in this building 2 extra hours to fulfill the services to the town?
She does believe she does.
So the argument in favor was that the town clerk was here those hours and was doing that work. Whether she was being compensated for it was the discussion based on the hourly rate. The town clerk has been here and was working those hours. So that was a big part of why the finance committee at that time voted to recommend the increase in hours, because the town clerk was doing those hours and wasn't being compensated based on, goes back to how the former town clerk was also the treasurer, and how the separations occurred when the treasurer collector got combined, and what happened with the clerk's office. So, do you agree?
No, sorry, I'm staring off at the stage right now, sorry. I know you're looking at me, but and it looks like I'm looking at you, but I'm not really. Maybe.
It's a fight.
You want to go?
Town clerk.
And I know she came and we talked about it, but we didn't really discuss whether or not the hours.
This was 2015.
Does the committee want to take this up at the next meeting and just vote what's in front of us?
Yeah. I would say let's move on.
What's in front of you is the higher amount. I just want to make sure you know that.
Well, that's what's in front of us, so I guess we need to decide whether or not we want to fund the additional hours or not, because we have to ask Sandy to give us, you want to ask Sandy to give us the 30 hours and talk about the 2-hour increase and ask the town clerk to come in? So that at town meeting we can adjust this?
I think we make the decision now, I think.
Is there a motion to recommend 52,379? Yes, is that correct, no longevity change?
52,379. Elected positions do not get longevity.
Okay.
Oh, my pen's not working.
Is there a motion
D2.
to recommend that number?
I'll move to recommend 52,379.
Is there a second?
Second,
Okay.
this is just the 2% that we agreed to earlier.
No,
No,
no, so this
the
is
2
2%
hours.
plus the 2 hours.
No.
This is the 2 hours increase here, and then this is the 2%. So this is the 2-hour increase from year to year. And then this would represent the 2%.
So by voting on the 52,379, then we're voting both.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you want to just vote the increase, Sandy, do you have that number?
If it just, the 2% increase
Yep.
would come to 50,721.
Okay, so
I
you
stand by my
withdraw in
second.
your second?
No, I'm standing by my second.
You're standing by your second?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye with a hand, so I know.
Aye.
Or no?
No, I am voting aye,
Voting
just to
aye.
be clear.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, one abstention. Okay. 52.
So Gordon, before we go
Yes.
any further, just rough and tough, some of these are not equaling 2%?
There were, and I think that she's the only one that I remember that didn't put in a level fund, a level number of hours. So,
So,
like all right, so the veterans agent put in like a 1% increase.
Yeah,
I just put his original down to last year's and then gave him the 2% increase because that's better than the 1% increase. The Sealer of Weights and Measures had already figured in a 2% increase, so I just gave him the 2% increase.
yeah,
Because he wasn't looking for it on
so
top
there's
of
gonna be
it.
steps
Right.
here too.
In some cases, we have steps.
So like the clerical, there's gonna be a step plus the 2%.
Right.
so if I compare, for example, just the top one there, 91,266 for the town administrator, and apply 2%, I get a different number than 93,082.
No, you get the 93, he's at step 6, he's top step. You can see in the column that says difference.
According to my calculator, I get
Huh?
I get 93,091.
Oh, that's because his longevity's in there, and I took out the longevity, figured the 2%, and then put his longevity in, because you don't get a 2% on your longevity.
Okay, so the 91,266, right, so 91,266 included the longevity originally.
Yes,
I got you, okay, thank you.
Good.
sorry. Like, ooh, but I'm glad you checked my numbers.
Visine?
Wedding drops. Listen, people, I wish I liked the taste of alcohol because I.
That's not what I was referring to.
Right.
Oh,
Doritos.
Do your eyes get red with marriage and wine?
I have no idea.
Don't anybody answer that.
Do your eyes?
Right.
I make
Zip
sure
it.
to stay with the non-smoking kind.
Oh, edible.
Right?
Magic paper.
26. Do we have a longevity change?
No,
Okay, so 36,673. Is there a motion?
I move with 36,673.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, next line, clerk.
the treasurer collector, 29.
So that was the
Alright.
increased,
She put in a stipend of $1,000. She
which
added it.
we voted,
No. The treasurer collector has always had both the treasurer position and collector's position can get a
yep,
$1,000 stipend. She is in school, going to school to get her collector's certificate. She is testing for it this year in
clerks,
August.
alright?
No, clerk already got it. We're down to treasurer collector.
No, we're not.
No, we're,
I thought we
No,
were.
we're at clerk
Expense.
expense 27.
Expense.
Oh,
Oh, clerk expense,
The
oh,
assistant clerk.
I thought that, all right, that wasn't already voted?
So didn't we vote $1,000
I don't know
to
what that was.
I thought you
Barbara at the last one?
had- I thought you had.
No, that was for her stipend, that goes in her salary.
No, but they also, I thought you had the discussion with Barbara about the assistant town
We
clerk
did.
going to this additional schooling
We
to
did.
get certified.
We did.
And did you
Right.
approve that line item therefore?
I don't think we did, because I think we kind of thought it was part of wage at the time.
Right, well, it doesn't, she got scholarships to cover the whole thing. so-
Right, but it's not the increase that she put in.
Right,
If she got a stipend, which the assistant can't get a stipend anyways, it would be in her salary. That was for the actual schooling that Barbara.
So should we take
Right.
out the 1,000 then? Is what I'm asking.
Well, the $1,000 difference is basically.
Wasn't that the
is
cost
the
of going to
meeting.
school?
Yeah, it's the meeting. It's the annual meeting that she goes to.
right, that was,
But she was gonna,
the meeting that she goes to, they don't pay for anymore,
Right.
so, yeah. So she wanted to be able to go to that.
no, I thought
What about the
Wait a minute.
scholarships for this year? I don't know that she'll get the scholarships for
She
this
got
year, for this year, for attending this year's. But this is for 3 years, so she has 18 coming up,
Okay.
18.
Well, she can only apply for this year, obviously.
Right.
She got more than what she needed.
But
So,
it's only good
right.
for this year, those
Right.
scholarships. So
Hang on,
I'm not
Go
sure
back to
when
her.
the classes, so.
let me just go back to when she came in, I have it broken down line by line. One moment, please. All right, what line number are we on?
27.
27, the increase is for a certification program, 3 years. There's machine maintenance on the time clock has gone up, and also her town meetings have gone up.
Right, but she said that she would send us back and let us know if she got the scholarship and she was gonna reduce that
She
amount.
just got the scholarship.
Was that for FY
Literally.
18 or FY 17 classes?
She told us she was applying for this upcoming fiscal year.
Right, and it
So
will
it would
be
affect
for
this budget.
Okay,
this upcoming fiscal year is what she got funded, and she got
Alright.
fully funded.
I did know that.
Yeah,
I just didn't know, I thought it was
To
for
modify
17.
that to 39.
So why
I
don't
thought she
we,
was starting classes before.
you want me to text her
No,
and find out?
yeah, you can, we'll move on and come back to it. Okay, line 29, treasurer collector salary.
Don't go too fast for me, doing two things at once.
this is the one that I started talking about. She put in, because she's taking the collector's test
Yeah,
this year to be certified collector, she would be eligible for the $1,000 stipend. So she put it in her budget
okay,
for FY 18. So that it would be there if she
If she
got
gets
the
it.
certification. If she doesn't,
then it just sits
then
there,
it just sits there and goes back.
Okay.
and that's a law as well, like the clerk showed
Yes.
us. Okay. 69, 143. Is there a motion? 143?
69,
I
145.
don't think that-
What number?
I have 143.
I have 143.
So do I.
Okay, I must have corrected it.
So,
So put it in as 145, please.
145.
So I'll
Okay.
move the 69, 145.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye? Unanimous. 30.
Don't forget to round up and then I have to do it.
30 is clerical. 63, 624. No longevity change?
Nope.
Is there a motion?
Move the 63, 624.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Next line is wage and personnel clerical. 5,164.
Right.
Is there a motion?
Move the 5,164.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, next line, 39, regulatory clerical, 70,805. No,
There is longevity on that one, so would it change to 71,175?
75, 71,000?
71,175.
175. Okay, is there a motion?
I'll move the 71,175.
Second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, building committee clerical, 11,208.
That's right.
Okay, 11,208. Is there a motion?
Move the 11,208.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Town buildings custodial. So we have an email. Custodial line 42. We have been notified that Jerry Elliott, our director of building maintenance, will be retiring February 2018. At that time, we were required to pay his earned vacation time, which in my estimation is $9,400, which I've accounted for him using 2 weeks of vacation. Of course, the amount will be less if he uses more vacation than he has left. Building committee would like to hire someone to begin January and work with him and work 1 month while Jerry is still here. This will cost the town an estimated $4,700. I use step 3 salary to allow the building committee some flexibility to hire someone with more experience. We will save about $2,200 by having someone at a lower step for the remainder of the year. Taking all of this into consideration, I would like to add $11,900 to the building custodial line. So that's on top of the 2%, but we need longevity as well. And then you're gonna have to calculate out a new.
And evidently, I wrote that letter, right? And did I remember?
Yeah, and you
to put it
wrote,
in?
thank you, Sandy Nolan.
So do you all understand what's happening here?
So he's retiring, so we have to pay out the.
Right, so any
vacation.
vacation he's accrued but not used at that point. And what happens is, in terms of the accrual, you accrue during the course of the year, you get to carry over anything you've accrued, plus up to 40 hours. So he might bring over
A week.
a week, plus 5 weeks that he accrues during the course of fiscal 17. Then he continues to accrue, obviously, from July 1st to, I don't know what date it is, February 1st, February. So, prorated, he'll get that additional vacation. Obviously, as they mentioned in the letter, he'll take some vacation from July to February. So that would be minus, whatever he has left, we've got to pay out. So instead of 52 weeks of pay, we've got to say, let's say 58 weeks, 57 weeks of pay to pay his vacation. And then they want to add an additional
Another
4
month.
weeks of pay so that there's a carryover.
Overlap.
Overlap.
Yes, thank you. Between the new person coming in and Jerry.
Right. So if you add all that up,
Yep.
which like I said, I forgot to add the 11,900 into when I figured the longevity, and it would be 188,859.
188059.
188. Let me check it again. What was the number I asked you? 11,900 or 11,090?
11,900.
900, okay.
Did you have it?
188,859.
188859.
Okay.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll move the 188,859.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Can we just make a note for next year that we make sure this number goes back down to accommodate the new hire?
Mhm. Usually when we do the wages, we go person by person, and I check them when they come in, so I think it will definitely. I don't blame you for making the note, but yes.
Is there any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Kendra,
Yes,
are you ready?
I'm good.
Okay.
I just got my text messages. so-
Did you made the motion?
Yes.
You seconded?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
I thought you were asking me to vote. I'm like,
No,
sometimes I vote and myself right in. The assistant clerk starts July 8th.
So, do we cut the 1,000?
She said, mind your own business.
Is that the assistant clerk?
She's so fresh. All right, so, let's see. Now I've got Barbara and Sue texting me at the same time. Barbara says she received a scholarship. So she would need it for next July, which would be FY19.
So not this year.
Right.
So take the 1,000 out?
Yep.
Okay. So going back to clerk 27 expense, $3,930. Is there a motion?
I move the $3,930.
Second.
What
Line 27.
27.
You didn't have it in here.
That's the one you're texting about.
I know, but I didn't write it down because I was texting.
Stop texting in the middle of the meeting.
$3,930. Stop harassing me.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further
It's
discussion?
been a long week.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. So we're done with this page. So the next line is police salary. So that's still negotiation?
Police chief salary, John, still in negotiation?
Yes, still negotiating.
Wages still negotiating?
Yes.
Are those numbers printed there acceptable?
Yeah, with that, because they don't include that. So if you remember in the warrant, there'll be articles to deal with all the contracts.
So we should vote these then?
Yes.
Okay.
So if, I'm sure it's not going to be this way, but let's say that we negotiate with the police chief and we agreed on no increase. That's the right number. If
Okay.
we do agree on an increase, then the additional money would be in that particular article for the police chief's contract.
Okay, so line 45, police chief salary, $102,627. Is there a motion?
I move the 102,627.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimous. Same with the wages, 46.
The wages, you do have some part-time wage and personnel officers. So we added 2% for them. Brings it to $1,004,954.
Okay. Is there a motion for that number?
I move for that number.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Good job.
The $1,004,954.
Thank you, Stu.
Nice job.
You got our reading glasses.
Right?
You just got yourself an extension to your term.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, line 48, clerical. Is there any longevity there? No,
No.
right? $44,872. Is there a motion?
I move the 44,872.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, fire salary chief, line 52, $103,597.
I move the 103,597.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Clerical, longevity there, right?
Yes. So that should be 41,450.
Is there a motion for 41,450?
I'll move the 41,450.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Fire wages, 54.
And
Any,
with our call firefighters, we're putting in 898,892.
898,892. Is there a motion?
I move the 898,892.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, next line I have is building inspector wages, 63. No longevity there. $64,557.
I move the 64,557.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. 64, assistant building inspector wages. Any longevity on that one? $2,115.
I move the $2,115.
Second.
All those in favor, aye? Unanimous. Sealer of weights and measures, $2,568.
I move the 2,568.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Animal control officer salary, line 68, $18,056.
I move the $18,056.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Communication wages, longevity there,
That's a contract.
Yeah,
that's a contract, so
Right, so
15,
just vote the 15.
yeah, and I know it sounds weird because the person's gonna be retiring in the middle of August or something like that, but she's still a union employee, we still have her under the union dispatcher contract, and we'll negotiate, we're following through as normal as it.
so we might have to vote this one. In an
No,
article
you'll
as
have
well.
an article, again, just like for the other unions, we'll have an article later on in the warrant that says to a certain amount of money for the contract for next
Gotcha.
year.
Line 70, $15,150.
I'll move the 15,150.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, 71 is blank,
71A, dispatch services.
71A. Dispatch services is $150,450.
I'll move the 150,450.
And I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, so the 17 is gone. Okay, the schools, did we get an update on vocational?
It's in the one sheet.
Still 159. I didn't hear any difference.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the 159,000?
I'll move the 159,000.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
It's passed unanimous. Okay, Silver Lake assessment, we have an update. This is $4,280,676. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move the 4,280,676.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, highway surveyor.
Could I bring up a point which we just did the clerk and treasurer collector, and I forgot all about this. The clerk, treasurer collector, and highway surveyor are
Wage.
elected officials.
Oh, we need to do that
You
article.
guys do Article 3, the elected officials. You've already voted the clerk and the treasurer collector, the
Yep.
2%, so I'm assuming you'll do the highway the same.
Yep,
I will write up that article, I already have it sort of ready because I did it
Okay.
last year. So we'll send it, but I wanted to make sure you
yeah,
guys
because that's our article.
realize that that is your article.
Yeah,
All right?
so by, once we vote, this is the last elected official, correct?
Yes,
But we need to vote selectmen and
right.
Assessment.
Selectmen
and assessors. Now, the
And
assessors,
moderator.
I'm kind of.
And the moderator, right?
And the
They're on
moderator,
that,
yeah.
He's on that too.
All right, so, do we know what those numbers are?
We didn't change them. 200 for the moderator,
4,500 for the selectmen.
but you have to vote the 1,500. It's 1,500 each.
Yeah.
So 1,500 for the selectmen and 1,500 for the assessors.
Okay, we don't have that in front of us. It's an article that the finance committee actually submits as Article 3. So if we had the draft copy, we can just vote.
You have your
I
draft
have,
copy?
yeah.
So,
So it's Article 3.
Okay.
so you want to just
Oh,
read?
so I don't have it, because this is my second page.
No Article 3 for you.
I threw away that page, sorry. Yeah.
No,
I don't
Article
think
3
Article
for you.
3 was in the draft, but I'm not
Was
sure.
not,
And
right?
Was it?
Do you have
no,
it,
this
Bill?
page you don't.
I have it.
You have Article 3? Do you want to just read it?
see if the town will vote to determine the salaries of several elected town officers, July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018, or take any action thereon.
It's the same page I do.
And then proposed by Finance Committee recommends.
Right.
Okay,
So it would be moderator,
so is
200,000.
200,000?
No, $200.
200,000?
There goes all those costs that we just saved.
I mean, now, $200. And I think he does such a good job.
Yeah, he does.
I'm gonna be the moderator now. That's what I'm applying for.
So
Selectmen, I think it goes moderator,
1,500
selectmen.
1,500 per selectman, 1,500 per assessor, $200 for the moderator. So the next one would be highway surveyor. So that's 72,292 with a 2% increase.
294.
294.
Just in the back row.
Is there a motion to approve line 80?
I'll move the 72,294.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. So, with the lines that we already voted,
Right.
will the finance committee make a motion to recommend the lines we voted for Article 3 plus 200 and 15, 200 for the moderator, 1,500 for the selectman, and 1,500 for each assessor, so that
So
they can
moved.
print that. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, there you go. There's Article 3 done.
That's done.
Are we there yet?
No.
Home stretch.
Line 81.
Well, Melinda's not getting talked about.
I had decaf
Highway
coffee.
wages, we do have a
Part-timers.
part-timer in there.
Okay,
So
so
299,966.
299,000. Yeah, so no longevity there.
No.
Okay. So there's a motion for 299,966.
I'll move the 299,966.
No, second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. 81 expense.
No,
sorry,
82
clerical.
Clerical.
Sorry, clerical.
82.
So is there longevity there?
Yes. So it should be 41,469.
469.
I'll move the 41,469.
For line 82. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, cemetery, 93, cemetery superintendent salary, $10,831.
I'll move the 10,831.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Cemetery wages, any?
Okay, we do have a part-timer in that position too, down there. 69,774,
Okay,
no longevity.
no longevity. Is there a motion for line 94, 69,774?
I'll move the 69,774.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, water, line 96, water superintendent salary.
We have longevity on all of these lines, so the superintendent, 76,559.
550. Is there any reason why you didn't do 60? And you did 60 on this?
Because it didn't round up that way.
Okay.
We round up pennies, I don't round up dollars.
Well, if it's a $500 longevity increase, and you have 60 on the sheet, that's why I'm asking.
Oh, I'm sorry, because I have 69. I mean, I have 59 on that,
So maybe it was like 99 cents.
yeah. We can do 60.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
Oh, I already wrote
like it.
59.
Please.
76,560.
I'll move along, give it a moment.
76,560.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's,
Yes.
yes.
Close and-
Yep,
Yes.
keep going.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes.
I might still fight for that buck.
Okay, the water wages would be 192,640.
640. Okay, that's line 97. Is there a motion for 192, 640?
I'll move the 192, 640 for line item.
Second it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Clerical,
Water
98,
clerical would be 53,558.
558. Is there a motion?
I move the 53,558.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Water,
Before we move off this page, can you re-clarify line number 94 for me,
94.
for the 307 increase?
Right, we have two workers down at the cemetery. Usually it's just one full-time worker who's covered under the highway cemetery contract. But we have a part-time seasonal employee, so that part-time wage had to go up to 2% for wage
Okay,
adjustment.
thank you.
You have not voted line 107 either, it's not a wage line.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
okay, so what happened with the status on that?
So I have, Sandy and I met with the audit commission the other day, and I
Okay,
have an update from them, and some supporting documentation. How do you want to handle that?
tell us how you meet
All right,
it went.
so I'll read the memo from the water department. Town water oil maintenance account, why we need the $100,000 in the account. Richmond Park is over 37 years old. We can't predict when something is going to fail, but we have to have the money on hand to fix the issue. If we lose Richmond Park, we lose two of our four wells. Then we can, then we only have one well at the Y camp because we can't run the two wells together at the Y camp. If we go to one well, and we would have to implement a total outside water ban because we would not be able to meet the water demand. This year alone, we've spent over $85,000. Issues that need to be addressed now. Check valve number 2 at Richmond Park is leaking, cost to replace around $3,000. But then that can lead to other things that need attention, such as the cleaning, pump and motor. Issues could happen. Replace filter media at Richmond Park, received a quote for over $130,000. Replace wastewater valve has already been rebuilt, cost to replace around $30,000. Our engineers, Tata and Howard, are going to do an assessment of Richmond Park to let us know what needs to be upgraded, replaced, etc. We truly feel that well maintenance account should stay at $100,000. In addition, there were some DPW or DEP?
DEP, then.
DEP part
Yeah.
requirements.
Yeah, some requirement changes for chlorine, residual, something or other. That's somewhere to 15,000.
Yeah, one of the things that happened over the last couple of years is they obviously have to do the regular reporting and measurements, testing of the waters and everything. What they were getting were higher chlorine numbers than what the state would normally allow. So they've got to, I don't know what chemicals or filtering or whatever they have to do, but they have to do something to, in addition to what they have been doing, to lower the chlorine counts on the water that's actually sent out to the customers.
Right. And then a look at the fiscal year 2017, they have $85,781 in expenses already paid for, and the expectation is that's going to increase for next year. It had something to do with
Sludge
the
lagoons.
sludge lagoons, or what we call them. The
They have two
waste
huge sludge
lagoons,
lagoons.
two. Yeah. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10 charges just for one lagoon, and the total's around $35,000 to $4,000 just for that one lagoon.
To this
So
clearing the lagoons.
So with that, charge training cost.
Okay. Are they gonna put in a filter to deal with the iron in the water?
I didn't know that. Sandy, did I miss anything? Is that?
No, I don't think so, except that they've only cleaned out one of the sludge lagoons. They have another one, and it's DEP is requiring that they clean them out because of some germs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are they going to hit the water reserve fund this year?
Hopefully not.
So that was the 25,000?
Yeah. They hope to make it through the rest of the year with the money that they have left.
Okay. But they know that that's available if they
Yes,
need
they
to.
do.
Okay. So after hearing all that documentation, What is the committee's motion for line 107?
How was the decision made last year to keep that 100,000?
So last year it was, they came before us and they told us they had work that they needed to get done, and they submitted documentation showing that they were going to spend an additional $75,000.
So they knew that they spent almost that much.
Yeah, and the reason why Mel brought it up at the meeting was because they said it was a one-time
Right.
issue, not an ongoing increase in that, when they presented it last year. So it looks like now it's going to be an ongoing issue with replacement. And, so there's our documentation.
One of their goals is to rebuild Richmond Park
Okay.
before they have to build a filter plant at the Y.
Before they,
Before they have to. They need to get that one up and, you know, back in good shape,
yeah,
because it's just so old at this point. So that's what Tater and Howard is doing the assessment,
okay.
and then they're gonna be starting to, they'll probably have to put in an article for the majority of the work.
Yeah, I'm certainly not opposed to the spending of the money. I think Stu brought up a great point that they're kind of operating under different set of parameters from the other departments. The other department heads don't have $100,000 slush fund to work with.
I wouldn't call it. No, I understand, I don't mean
It's
to
very
insult.
base and it's not meant to be insulting.
I
to
know,
anyone.
I know.
Did you say sludge? Sludge fund?
Sludge fund.
fund, yeah.
An undesignated budget.
Yes.
But it is designated, because it's designated for tower and well maintenance. It cannot be used for anything else. And it was definitely required this year, and they do believe it will be required again next year.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve the 100,000.
Is there a second? So, the chair does not normally second, but he will.
Okay.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. No? All those noes?
No.
I'm abstaining.
Okay, so,
And it's no reflection on the department, the people, the work, the water. It's got everything to do with us and the way we handle
Right.
money.
Yes.
I agree with
The
you.
precedent that's set, because if every department started reserving,
But this is
So-
not a reserve.
Yeah.
This is not a reserve, Stu. This is like your vehicle maintenance account. Your vehicle maintenance account is there for when things break down and you have to do maintenance on your vehicles. This is the same for the towers and wells, and every repair on those towers and wells is so expensive.
so,
And that's why it has to be so high.
I understand that.
so their costs that they've outlined for the upcoming fiscal year. They're going to replace a wastewater valve that has already been rebuilt. The cost to replace that is $30,000. They said to replace the filter media, they have a quote for over 130. So is there, and they have a cost to replace a pump at $3,000. So normally when we,
We had one more sludge thing, which was about
Sludge.
36,000 to
Yeah.
the first one.
And now you have two of them to do, so that's around 60.
so,
And I don't know if you remember during the capital planning, they're also doing a study of the wells and all that stuff, so
Right,
that's important
Which-
because
right. The way,
so is the feeling of the committee that they didn't present enough evidence to support the needed work that they're going to do? Because normally, if they have a large increase, say like special needs, we're kind of at a state, we have to provide that education, and that's the cost, and that's what we have to do, and they can break out the number of students and the different cost for each thing. Is the issue here for this increased spending, the fact the committee doesn't feel that they've presented data that proves that they have to spend this money?
Or exactly what the cost is gonna be.
I think if those original projections had been in the initial request, that would have been helpful. That might have helped our initial discussion that we had about why a sustained increase would be necessary.
Okay. Would you ask the water superintendent and the commissioners if they could attend the next meeting?
I would be happy to support a number that, mediates between what they're kind of projecting and what they've asked for.
So that, well, so looking at this, it says that they spent $85,000 so far in this fiscal year.
Right.
They said the issues that need to be addressed right now is the check valve, Richmond Park, the cost to replace is $3,000. So I'm assuming they're doing that in this fiscal year. So that puts them at $88,000. The cost to replace the media at Richmond Park is a quote for over $130. So is there, I'm not sure with this piece of data what they're doing with that piece of data. Is that the
Are they
feeling?
definitely gonna
Are
be
they
doing that?
replacing-
No, this, I believe this is stuff that they feel could happen and they need the money to support.
But they don't have, but in this line, it's only 130.
Right.
I mean, it's only 100, so if the cost is 130, where are they gonna get the other 30?
Right, I'm just looking at the way this is presented, the issues could happen, like, these are things that we think might happen, and that's
Right.
why we have 100,000 in the budget. Cause this stuff might happen,
Yeah.
and again, we
It's
come
not
back to
definite.
the, sludge fund, I guess.
But, so looking at their previous cost was $25,000. Would we just like to have them come in and have more of a cost of what maintenance work they're going to get done to the wells this upcoming fiscal year with their requests? Because these are what might be, and I understand what might be's. I could do that with everything and plan to put $200,000 there. Does the committee want to see what they plan to do?
That would
Yes.
certainly be helpful.
I need a warrant though.
So we run into an issue if we change it drastically with John allowing the change.
Well,
So we could put a note, like we've done before,
that's what I would do.
the finance committee has not made a recommendation at this point in time. Because we didn't, we just took a vote, like you said
Yeah.
previously.
Right. So yeah, it would be, you'd have to put a big asterisk. I wouldn't put 0, I'd put an asterisk with a note at the bottom of that particular section, because we have
Yeah.
things sectioned off. So water, we have highway, in the public works, we
Yeah.
have highway and we have water. I know cemetery is separate and recycling. So under the water one, just like we put
Yeah.
the letters, maybe we'll put a letter in instead of the asterisk.
We put the letter in because it's an enterprise.
Right, well, we can put another letter in that's specific to that cell in the
Yes.
table that says, Finance Committee was unable to come to a joint vote, whatever. The original request,
We should leave the original.
I think they, in terms of, either you're gonna put the original request in the cell, or you put in the note, you just put a letter in for the cell, and you say, in the note, the original request from the water department was for this amount. So that, one way or the other, the townspeople are fully informed that this is the request, that they might potentially be voting on this amount.
I would recommend we leave the $100,000 number here and put an asterisk next to that. Because it's a lot easier to look at the spreadsheet than it is to go
Sure.
look down at a letter.
I think a lot of times they don't look at the notes, so I agree with that.
So with an asterisk saying that we did not come to a majority decision, is that acceptable to leave the 100,000?
Yes.
So does
Yes.
someone make a motion?
I moved to leave the $100,000 in there with the asterisk that we couldn't come to a recommendation.
And I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, that's passes unanimous. So if they can't come in this Monday, we schedule them for the following Monday, so that we can get this,
17th, you're not meeting, maybe the 24th.
oh, yeah, the following meeting.
I could check.
That way we get it taken care of before town meeting. And then, Bill, would you mind just reaching out to them, letting them know we're looking for more documentation? Or Kendra can too, and tell them exactly what it is that we're looking for them to have as a plan of what they expect to do in the upcoming fiscal year, and how much is actually a reserve that they're looking for, as I believe is the issue, is how much are they expecting to spend?
That they know already,
Yes.
basically.
How much are they going to spend, and then how much is a reserve factor of what they feel might happen?
Is that how you do your vehicle maintenance budgets too? Is that what we always look at for the vehicle maintenance, and for even the overtime on the police and fire, we do the same thing?
So,
Because it's always what we might use.
in the vehicle maintenance, I wouldn't say so, because we know, at least for the police, we know what the estimated cost is. We know that they're gonna have to go through all these things, and the cost has gone down as we've replaced vehicles.
But
So
I know
they should
it's
be able to
used for
tell.
repairs, and you don't know what repairs are coming during the year.
But but on that note, they could ask for $200,000, because this thing, this 130
No, I do
might happen.
understand that, but
We're
they're
working
not.
off, we're working
They're
off
really
historical
trying to be
data as
reasonable.
opposed to this might have, this budget has increased from 25,000 2 years ago to 100,000.
Right.
We supported that $100,000 increase last year because they said, this is a need we have, this is a one-time need we have to address some of the problems. They're coming back for that same money, it's not a one-time need, they're asking us to change our way of doing business.
Or certainly to change the expectations of how much money needs to be spent on those things. I mean, I don't think you change the way you're doing business. I think there's uncertainty as to how much is going to be needed each year. Because just, the vehicle maintenance is that on a small scale, but it's been a fairly reliable number. We don't know specifically which thing is going to break, but we figure based on historical that enough things will break that we need to spend this amount of money.
Right, and up until previously, it was only $25,000. Now it's,
Right.
so I think.
But I know that also they've been, because of DEP's new regulations and everything, they've had to bring things up, like at the Richmond Park, they've had to do a lot, like that sludge thing.
I just
I
think
mean,
if they,
They never thought they'd have to, they hadn't ever really emptied it like they had to this time. And that's how expensive it was.
but I think that informing the finance committee of the issues that they are facing is what they should be doing.
Right,
Okay.
so
I thought they had.
and I guess I don't want Bill or anybody else to get blowback who went to that meeting. And the water department and the commissioner didn't feel they presented enough information. Obviously, you disagree. I'm not saying you're wrong, but there's I don't want this to be a breaking point that there's just a lot of anger. I want light rather than heat in this. And
I don't think just asking them for
And
some more
No, I
documentation.
know,
is-
they had their meeting last night, and they did expect that maybe a couple of others of you would have showed up.
I get that, but we all have plenty of meetings to attend as well, and this is where the finance
Right.
committee makes its recommendation on their budget, and they can come to our
Well,
meetings.
right, and they could, but just as you have a lot of meetings, you're asking them now.
But if they're a department head, they should be coming to
No,
a finance
I
committee.
understand that.
Then it would have been better if you had asked them in the first place.
And I think we had them on the schedule previously in March, and they didn't come, so.
No, he came.
Keith came in one night you weren't here.
But we had
And
more
he talked
questions
to you
that
about the
night.
same thing. And you sent him back to his commission
Right, and
Just,
and said that we're gonna go.
so just for the DEP
yeah,
requirements for the sludge for one of those wells and there's, or those cisterns,
Yeah.
and there's two. For this year, they've spent 53,620.
okay,
Had they been doing both, assuming they need to do both, linear math, raise twice that.
right, but,
So,
I agree that they probably have an increased cost, and I mean, I voted for the 100,000, but
yeah,
they should also, I mean, if that's 100,000 right there for just those two cisterns, and they're doing other work, then is this 100,000 a real, is it enough?
yeah. And we asked that question
Mhm.
the other night, and they
Yeah.
said, yes, they felt that was gonna be enough.
But, you know, we're also in this break point between really what is a capital improvement within their system and what is maintenance. You know, where the lines are blurring a little bit here.
I mean, when you, to do the sludge work, for instance, are you buying equipment? I mean, not you personally, but it sounds like that they're making either repairs or they're having to undertake certain processes. Usually for the capital budget, we're talking about things that we're buying.
Right.
If we're buying new equipment to perform these functions, maybe that's a capital expense. Mind you, it ends up being all the money, whether it's for this budget particularly, whether it's capital or operating, ends up all coming from the same place, the ratepayers. It's not, so, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but there's as you're pointing out, there's a gray area, but in the sense, all that money ends up being the same color, however you define, whether it's a capital expenditure or an operating one.
Right. But there is a certain amount of finger painting here, you know, just asking for a large sum. You know, it's a combination of maintenance, and it sounds like some of these valves are pretty expensive. You know, is there a timeline that they need to be replaced? Meaning, should we start looking at 5 years from now, setting aside the money to replace, you know, whatever?
So capital plan for just the water department.
Yeah, I think it would be really great for you guys to all sit in the room with them, because I know they are having a consultant come in and look at those kinds of things this spring.
But what I will approach to take might be, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, then that may even be more reason to defer, you know, a large, you know, single expenditure if they have in fact a consultant coming in to give an evaluation, an appraisal, whatever, and to get some ground truth for really what the issues are. I mean, if right now we're just going on some
Right,
local
but if they
guesses.
find out this spring from that study that there are certain things that have to be done, they should be done right sooner rather than later. If they don't have that money, then we have to go back to another town meeting to get that money appropriated. This way, at least if there's the 100,000 in there, they're gonna be using it for regular maintenance items. But they anticipate anything that they maintain, even one valve, $30,000 for one valve. If you go down to 25,000, that's gone.
But-
I mean, you
No,
know,
I understand that, but are we putting 100,000 in perpetuity into the budgets
Well,
going
the short
forward?
answer is
No, not
yes.
really.
I think you're going to.
I don't.
Possibly.
I think
the age
you're-
of the plant.
given that your system is aging, the entire system is aging, I think you're good. And now, there may be a situation where if they do a complete replacement of the system at Richmond Park or at the Y camp, then the maintenance budget does go down. But it's the equivalent, it's equivalent of, they had to do repairs to the water tower year after year after year, and then finally we went ahead, did all the repairs, did the repainting and everything. And I would think the maintenance budget for the water tower itself, by its own object, would be far less. And if they get to the point that they have to do a full-scale renovation of one of those water systems, treatment plant, the wells, whatever, the pumps, then you should see, at least for some period of time. But until that happens, I mean, let's put it this way, setting aside the firestorms that happen, like with the school project, or the council on aging, or anything else, what's the number one thing that I see on Halifax locals about
Water.
water quality?
Iron water.
Yeah, so what I would do is say to them, we appreciate you talking with us at your commissioners meeting, was it last night? The full board has a number of other questions before the committee makes a decision about this line item. We appreciate you coming in to talk with us more about this.
Sounds good. Okay. Line 108.
Doesn't matter.
Line 108, recycling office clerical. Any longevity there?
Yes. So the number should be 28,819.
819. Is there a motion?
Move the 28,819.
A second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Line 110, recycling center wages.
There's longevity there too, so the amount should be 70,122.
70,122. Is there a motion?
I move the 70,122.
Second?
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Expense, 28,000. We talked about that at the, not the last meeting, but the previous meeting about the increased cost. Is there a motion to approve?
I move the 28,000.
Where, recycling center?
Yes.
11, we voted it.
You did.
Yep,
I didn't show it
we voted it on March 27th.
Okay.
I just found it today, actually.
27. Okay.
So we voted that and we voted 113.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's the meeting that we did a couple. And then broke out of here
Two.
pretty
We were
early.
like, see ya.
Okay. 114, health clerical. Is there longevity?
Yes, should be 41,939.
939. Okay.
I move the 41,939.
Second?
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Yes. 116, health inspections.
Should be 67,393.
393. Is there a motion?
I move the 67,393.
Second?
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Next line, council on aging wages.
Inspector of Animals.
Oh, inspector of animals, missed that one. $3,048. Is there a motion?
Move the $3,048.
Second?
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, next line, 120, council on aging wages.
No
70
longevity, so it's 177,232.
177,232. Is there a motion?
I move the 177,232.
Second?
All those in favor, aye?
Hang on a second. I had a note that she had asked for a part-time person.
But it
For
wasn't,
anywhere-
yeah,
anywhere
it wasn't
between 8 to-
included in the wages.
Something.
Increase in hours or a new person?
Yeah,
New person,
Um,
part-time.
okay, so,
I
if
didn't
you
know we had
remember
to-
when Dick Wright came in,
Yep,
he said that was on their wish list. I think it was a 16
it was a nice to have, not a need to
Yeah.
have.
okay,
Anywhere between 8 and 16 hours is what they would have liked.
it's their discussion on that. Seeing none. Quickly. Did we vote to 77,232?
Yes.
Okay. If it comes up at town meeting, we will have to take another vote on an increased head count at council on aging. Next line, veterans agent salary, $14,679. Any
Yep.
longevity? No.
No
Okay.
longevity.
14,679. Is there a motion?
I move the 14,679.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, library director salary. Is that,
Okay, there was longevity on that, so that would be 60,682.
is there a motion?
Move the 60,682.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Library wages.
There was longevity, so it would be 161,644.
Is there a motion for 161,644?
I move the 161,644.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, next we would revote the library line 131.
Right. And that would go down to 97,505.
97,505. Is there a motion?
I move the 97,505.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those, so just to let the new members know, when we have to maintain a minimum spend across wages and expenses for the library to keep our certification. So if there's an increase in wages, the library has an agreement with the finance committee to lower the expenses to keep their rating. So they stay at the minimum to maintain the rating. Otherwise, if we didn't, the
Yeah, it just lays it over,
state requirement,
Yeah.
yep.
The last 3
So it's the
years.
average of the last 3 years plus 2.5%. So it's not actually 2.5% when you do out the math.
So the
So,
97,505 is for line 131?
yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
because we increased the wages for the director and the other positions within the library, we decreased the expenses.
Okay, at what point does that become unsustainable?
About 5 years, I think, is what we projected.
Yeah.
right?
I think so because,
And basically, it's the wages are gonna finally catch up to where they need to be, because we replaced the library director over there that was at a way higher step.
It wasn't just that, we had a whole series of
Yeah.
people who were at step 6 leave one way or the other, or move positions like to library director. And then,
so we allowed them to spend more on the expenses for a number of years. So the last 2, I think, because they had a change in the step where people were.
Okay.
and the salary plus the expenses has to equal a certain amount of money
Yeah.
tied into the what's the books
Certification.
amount.
Yeah.
Materials.
you know,
And
materials.
what rating's at risk if we don't maintain that balance?
Sales network, we can't be part of like all the other, like the shared community of libraries.
Mhm.
You know.
So our residents can't go and borrow books from other libraries, and they can't do interlibrary loans through other libraries, for instance.
Okay.
So there is a process to get a waiver if we come to that point.
But there's only a process if, in essence, you're saying, well, we had to cut back on the library, and we did cut back on everybody else too. You know, they'll take that type of waiver, but if you picked out the library as a department that you focused on and said, we're gonna cut you and not other, then you're not gonna get that waiver. And Bridgewater went through that for a couple of years, for a while. They,
Right.
for whatever reason.
And the director over there did call the Board of Libraries and talk to them about the fact that her wages went down and could she adjust it? And they said they didn't consider that something that they would waive,
Mhm.
give a waiver for. So she definitely did her due diligence.
Just give me 1 second. Okay, so the sum of those 3 lines needs to stay static is
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. No, the US launched missiles to, that's why I was showing her into Syria tonight, a few minutes ago.
We did?
We did, against Syria.
Sell, couldn't sell.
I stayed in overnight. That is gonna be horrible.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so do we need to change the approval date? for this?
Yeah,
For that?
so,
That's just for our notes.
Yeah, so that we know what's
so we are at line
in Sandy will fix it.
131. Did we take a vote?
We have a motion and a second. but no
All
vote.
those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so, we've done everything else on this page?
Well, we
You
got the
can make
132
wages.
and 134.
Okay.
32, 134.
Did we get an update on what the change for minimum wage?
I think that's why he did increase it this year.
This is youth and rec.
Yeah,
Because it went up again, I think it's $11 now.
yep.
And he, okay. He did bring his wages up from last year, from last year, he did not. But he put it in the same amount as he got last year, which was the 15,810. But with the 2%, it would be 16,127.
16,127. Okay, is there a motion for 16,127?
I move 16,127.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously. Youth and Rec Director, is there a longevity there?
No.
$17,050. Is there a motion?
17,050.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Halifax Fireworks Committee, 3,200. That was after getting an update from the details that we received from Caesar.
I move the 3,200.
Is there a second? Discussion on this? Any? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any other lines that we need to vote?
I need you to revote the Medicare line
Medicare line, okay. 153.
at 119,636 due to the increase in the wages.
How about longevity? Did that affect that?
I have to ask Linda.
Okay, we'll vote it. We have to re-vote it at town meeting. We'll re-vote it. Is there a motion to vote 153
How much was the additional longevity?
at 9,000 something?
9,340.
And
Charles gonna give you a number.
Medicare's one is, what, 1.5, 1.45, I think. So you're talking $450.
Shall we add 400?
Yes, please. So that would put us at 120.
0.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Oh, it's
Sorry.
just-
Sorry. Yeah, no, 100, sorry. Well, you said 9,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Charlie.
wait a
Okay, so
minute.
$135. Sorry, just, yeah, 135.
119.
135.
Add 135?
771, yep.
771.
You just sounded like Rain
I was just gonna say the same thing. Didn't he?
He did, he told us.
135.
I got some
Yeah,
it's only right.
toothpicks to throw down,
135.
Charlie.
Yeah,
Just give me
135.
my ask or else.
Shots at Walmart, shots at Walmart,
Came out
right?
sucks.
Very twinkly.
Is there a motion for 119,771?
I move
All those
119,771.
Sticks on.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay.
Is yours-
Are there any other articles that we have? The only other thing to talk about is the audit line.
Yeah, we have an email piece. We had previously given them the normal amount, and then we know now that we're going to have to do the single.
Right, so
We still have special town meeting.
29.99.
Oh,
Line
we did
9.
special time meeting last time.
We only did the last one.
For some reason, I thought I had.
Okay.
I went over it with Pam today.
You wanna hand it over?
What the original was.
I don't know if Charlie has a different one or not.
Which?
Charlie, do you have an updated?
Warrant?
But not for Article 4.
Do you have an
No,
update for
but for
special
us to
town
go
meeting?
through special town meeting?
That didn't really get changed at all.
Okay.
What?
Did we cover this audit line email?
Do you remember what the original?
Because we haven't done the marijuana stuff, we haven't done,
We did the marijuana.
well, we did. but
We did the marijuana stuff.
Kim
Stu, the
and
roads
possibly
walls?
Charlie.
Yeah. You know,
Is there anything else?
Because we haven't done PEG,
I think you're ready, right?
you know what I mean?
Ready to wrap this up? Are we there yet?
Did we vote on the fire suppression? Did you guys vote on the fire
No,
suppression?
we haven't done fire
article?
suppression, we haven't done,
The school
Council on
security
Aging.
article and the 2 council on aging articles. Do you want to make recommendations on any of that tonight?
No.
Okay.
Not touching that.
You give him a yes or no.
I know.
Not touching it.
Sorry.
It's
Should
late,
I say
it's
that?
Russian.
Vote on.
Russian, not Russian.
Let me see.
It's a Russian. Maybe Russian. Russian.
So do you want to just forego the rest of the special?
Yep, sounds great.
Central.
Okay, just so the board, so the committee understands, I will not be here Monday night.
Okay.
For these reasons, so. I have some obligations, duties, and cooking to do.
Passover.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
He asked me to get the lamb for him.
No, we do a nice roast.
You do?
We do a nice roast, not the lamb, we do the beef.
Anyone got a motion?
Make a motion, adjourn,
I'll second it.
9:55.
Bill and Melinda, you got beat.
What's funny is Barbara.
All those in favor?
She doesn't-
Yeah.